Welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted podcast. Me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with the Greg Wilson.
Hey.
CB Gold.
What's up?
The Ween Dog is back.
What's up, dude?
We got a great show. We got Rashad Evans calling in.
Oh, wow, really?
As well
I should have the mic.
You don't even need one. As well as people have to hear you from home.
That's true. Remember that episode where you didn't turn on the mic? You were still able to use the audio?
We also have Jake Ellenberger calling in and Eryk Anders. It's going to be a great show.
What a stacked show.
Stack show. I want to thank our sponsor, Speedweed. Listen, people, marijuana is legal in California, and there is no reason that you should have to pay for it, okay? No reason at all. Joe, if you fix the camera a little bit so it's like pointing down towards us, not up, you're the best. So, marijuana is legal in California, okay? You get pizza delivered, you get Chinese food delivered, you get all kinds of stuff delivered. Why not get marijuana delivered? They will come right to you, okay? They have everything. They have edibles, they have vapes, they have flour, they have whatever you need. THC sex lube, okay? They will take care of it. So go to speedweed.com, follow them at Speedweed. Also, I want to thank our other sponsor, Santa Cruz Medicinals, okay? They have some of the best stuff, the best CBD olive oil, CBD vegetable oil. My wife cooks food with it. My day is so much better. You can put it in your coffee. I know Joe puts it in his coffee, right?
Yeah, dude.
You can do all kinds of stuff with it. They are really, really good people, and they got all kinds of stuff. And not only that, they're actually coming out with all kinds of great stuff. They have their new CBD pen, and CBD stuff is just the tits, okay? I'm telling you, I'm looking at their thing right now. You can follow them at Santa Cruz Medicinals. Follow them right now. Their olive oil, it's a perfect gift. But they also have their CBD 5,000 milligram CBD infused MCT oil and 1,000 CBD infused coconut oil. Okay, get them while you still can. They're gonna sell out. They always sell out. Okay, and their CBD vape pen. They have a strawberry lemonade vape pen. It's perfect on the go tool for discreet and fast acting CBD. And they're dropping a new lavender vanilla cartridges within 1 or 2 weeks. These guys are on fire. They're on fire. Okay, so make sure you check them out at Santa Cruz Medicinals on Instagram and scmedicinals.com. And mention Roasted, you get $10 off, $100 or more. That's also with the Speed Week too. So what's going on, guys?
Not much. That was great, man.
Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving. I didn't see you guys Thanksgiving.
That's right. That was fun.
I went to my wife's families. They have they're from Fresno. And
right.
they have this thing, like they have the cabin in the woods.
And they don't like you, right?
They love me.
Oh, they love you. That's what it is. I knew it was one or the other.
You're thinking of your family. Okay, so they have
immediate family, the ones that are supposed to love me.
So they have this cabin in the woods that's just amazing. But they're like big Trump supporters.
Oh,
they have guns,
nice.
and the grandfather actually was moving his gun. I didn't even know this was the thing that people, when they leave their house, they keep their guns above their beds, and that's where robbers know to go. So he was moving his gun from the bed to the safe, and he fell and off the stool. And I was like, "See, guns are dangerous."
Well, there you go. Anti-gun commercials made itself.
It's just funny though. but it's funny the way that like things happen. Like also
because you're too old to store it properly.
But they also had this crazy thing where like so we're going on the bed, me and my wife, and then we look under the pillow and there's dog food under the pillow. I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like,
wet food or dry food?
Dry food.
Obviously.
Okay.
So what happens is they say
you imagine
that,
it was wet food and then you're like, is that vomit?
That's what I asked. Could be way worse situation.
Well, what happens is mice store dog food in like warm places. So there was a mouse in the bed that was taking the dog food and moving it to underneath the pillow. This is like a known thing. Like, I was like, really?
I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
It was known to people who live in the country where they have mice and things like that.
Right. I was like, wow, that's pretty damn amazing, right? I mean, that's...
for the mouse, not so amazing for you.
No, we fixed the sheets.
Yeah, exactly. For you got to do some...
But were you uncomfortable for like the rest of your stay?
No, I was like entertained by it. Actually.
That's like all I would be thinking about. Like at nighttime, it's like, dude, there's like rats running around this room.
Exactly.
Right now, I can't
Listen,
sleep.
let me tell you something. I went to do the Big Bear Comedy Festival up there in Big Bear Lake, and they put us in like these cabin rooms.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't like really. It was still kind of like a hotel complex, but everything was kind of like outdoors, like your doors to the outdoors, and there's trees and cabin area and all this. So we're coming back between shows to my room because I had a bottle of Jack Daniels and probably some cocaine. And so we're going back to my room, right? And I open the door, and as I walk into the room, like it's totally normal, and then the guy behind me, Kilo, another comedian, is like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, what? I turn around and he goes, Wilson, you're lucky you're so short. Because I walked right under a spider the size of a silver dollar.
Wow.
That was coming down on a fucking thing. Now, he starts flicking this fucking spider, right? And the spider, and now it's just spinning and getting angry. Just like, and finally he smacks it one last time, but he doesn't kill it. He just sends it off into the patio area. Now I'm like, you realize this fucking spider's coming for revenge.
Maybe you wanted some of your cocaine.
Probably so. That's probably what kept him
Sounds
awake.
like it already had some.
Oh my. Dude, this guy, all night long, I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking about this fucking spider coming for revenge.
It's your hotel room now.
Might have bit you, man. Might have bit you, and you got special powers. You can like shoot webs and stuff, and like Greg Wilson, Spider Coke Man.
So
it only works at like.
all he has to do is snort his magic powder, and all of a sudden he's got incredible
He
powers.
only fights crime from like 2 in the morning.
From 2 to 7 a.m. And then he's gonna call this guy. Maybe there's a late morning shift. Probably not though.
So, Weed Dog, you've been filming a movie
Yeah,
in
dude.
the desert.
For a month.
What happened? What's going
Look at
on?
him, he's all skinny now and shit from it.
I'm ripped.
Hold on, go a little closer.
I'm
to
ripped?
see
I don't
you.
know about ripped.
Jack.
So what happened in this movie? What's going on here?
Well, I can't talk too much about it. It's some confidential information.
Isn't it a student film?
Yeah.
Now listen, they think they made genius Coppola shit here,
When you
right?
say they, I mean, it's just me.
Oh, it's just
it's
you?
your
I thought you
film?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for putting us in it.
So
you
wait a
asshole.
minute, so
It's
you
not
signed
like
a
a movie.
confidentiality agreement with yourself?
Yeah, I just don't want too much information to get out there, you know. Since a lot of people listen to this podcast.
We Doug, you hereby agree with yourself to not tell people shit, okay man? You
Yeah.
don't do this.
You know to make it proper. He signed one as Joe Perez and one as Ween Dog. It's two different
That's right.
signatures.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. If the contract has stipulations. If he tells us too much, he can't masturbate for a week.
Yeah.
So what was the movie about?
Well, it's like a documentary type thing.
On what?
It's about this blind gentleman he's a friend of mine. He's like 50 years old. He's been blind his whole life, and he decided to walk from Long Beach, California, all the way to Las Vegas, Nevada, on foot. And he's 100% blind. So they needed.
So you played the blind kid.
No, is this a true story?
Yeah, no, this happened. I was with them.
This really happened?
Yeah,
This guy walked from.
Long Beach.
How
to
long
Las
did it take
Vegas.
him?
A month.
Wow.
So they just needed somebody to come film it and make a documentary.
What, now, who, people holding his hands while he was crossing the street or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
I have to say, at least he picked a really straight. I mean,
Yeah.
you just kind of. It's one road if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Really, all they had to do was set him on the edge of the pavement.
But I can't go into too many details about what happened on the trip. But I can just say that, I had a couple drinks, saw a couple things on this trip, man.
What did you see?
We saw a blind kid
No, it's a grown-ass man.
blow
Did
it.
the
We
blind
saw a
guy
blind
know
guy blow it.
Did the blind guy know he was going to Vegas? He was going to the store, and then you just took him to Vegas.
Well, I kept telling him that entire time. I was like, we can just put him on a treadmill, dude, for like 30 days, and he won't know anything. We'll play some like slot.
And you can say that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can say that. But
I had some drinks and I saw some things.
I'm
Might be
trying to
blind
find
kid.
I feel like a
out.
lot of it happened around Zizix.
Oh, that fucking street.
That street, Zizix.
Who
I'm
named
sure.
that street?
I don't know. They were just
Yeah.
fucking around. I don't think they ever thought anybody'd see it.
Oh, I know, because we passed Zizix, and what happened is, it's like a cult leader. He wanted him. He's like a super rich billionaire dude. He wanted like his own, like Heaven's Gate type area, or what's the Jim Jones dude?
Yeah.
He wanted his own compound out there.
Yeah.
So he made Zizix Road. That's part of his cult. It leads up to the top of this mountain. Where
Is anybody else in the cult? Or just
Is this one of those things you learned while on this walk?
Yeah.
He's in the cult
Oh,
now.
okay. Yeah. This is what happens when you have to wait on a blind
Wait, now,
to
you-
walk to Vegas. Like,
Left, motherfucker.
you're like, I guess I'll just, I'm going to go there and see what that sign says.
So you,
right
so you
now.
didn't drive at all?
I did a lot of driving because it was like this is only a 3-man crew. It was me, the dude who was helping him walk, and then the blind guy himself. And I'm driving. I'm doing a bunch of like.
You're
gig work.
the camera guy.
I'm the camera guy. I'm the PA. I'm the director. I'm the AD.
You know, Southwest is like $80 for a ticket.
Yeah. Yeah,
669. Want to get away?
But it was rough being gone for so long. I really, it sucks. Dude.
Yeah.
And
Now, did it rain at all, or was it like too hot?
No, it was perfect weather pretty much the entire time.
Did you get stuck in like a sandstorm or something though?
I was stuck in a sandstorm, but you know what? It's
Paid
no
way
big
too much
deal.
attention.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I saw a couple.
Now, what about at
things.
night? You stayed at hotels at night?
Only like 2 nights we did. Only a
It must
couple
have been
nights.
tough to still not have sex with your girlfriend for a month.
Dude, you know what? I found ways to get it out
I'm sure you did.
on this trip. I found
Listen, yeah,
It's not like
drinks
the
you
blind
saw
guy
there.
knew what was going on. He just made fucking noise.
Did you tell the blind guy that you were a girl, and then like?
Why is the sleeping bag shaking?
No, but since it is No Nut November, I say, you know what? It's perfect. I don't want to be jerking
No
off.
Nut November.
Yeah, you don't know about No
This
Nut
is some
November?
Is this also in your agreement not to tell anything? Like you're like, otherwise it's No Nut
They like got
November.
made up or whatever. It's like the new No Shave November.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough. Now guys can't have
Yeah,
sex with
yeah,
women
but
during
you
November.
also have no nut January, no nut.
No, I was like, how is it different from every other month of the year?
Yeah.
No,
but
but
it
18.
could be for jerking off, too. It just means you can't come in this whole month.
Oh.
That's the whole thing.
Think about it. That's going to be more fun, though. You're just doing it, and you're like, listen, I can't come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to do it, but then I got to slow down.
I lasted about
We got to take a break and eat a sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta go, guys. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
And then he lived
What'd you
in
go behind a rock
for
and-
2 hours.
Yeah, where did you masturbate?
You probably went like this.
No, man, that's pretty. That's pretty
You'll need the
close to
video component of the podcast to enjoy that laugh.
Of course. Yeah, where did you?
masturbate.
Yeah.
A lot of bathrooms, gas station bathrooms, and
Oh my god.
yeah. I did.
How did you not get arrested during any of this?
Oh, we
you're
came
what
close,
the-
man.
The blind guy didn't see anything.
How's it going?
Thanks, buddy.
How's it going? How's it going? The
Yeah.
blind guy didn't see it. The blind guy didn't see anything.
And you know, we were out there in the desert for like a whole week straight. Remember, I was texting him like, "Dude, there's no Wi-Fi signal. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
No signal. You can't call nobody. You can't."
No,
text
that's true. It's that
nobody."
way when you drive through it. It's
Yeah.
amazing to me that it isn't. I think whichever company establishes perfect signal along that route, they're going to get fucking a lot of customers out of the LA market.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows it's completely dead. You lose all your shit.
The only way to do it is one of those like mobile broadband cards that like is having cell phone service, but it plugs into your laptop. Like nobody does that anymore. That'd be the only way.
Thanks, CB.
This has been your tech moment.
And all right, how was your Thanksgiving?
Mine was great, man. We actually were here, so that was fun.
You do any shows?
Yeah, on the weekends I did, yeah.
Haha.
Yeah, the ha.
I did the ha
I feel
last
like I
night.
did something else too. I can't remember.
Terry
what
show.
else I did.
It was like all feminists. A feminist women.
Perfect for
women's
you.
group.
Oh yeah.
They looked at me like I was the devil.
I'm sure they hated you.
No, I won them over. Once they realized that I didn't care,
Yeah.
then I was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to get to the point where I didn't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, rather than you do a joke, you commentate, do a joke, commentate. Fuck it. I'm just doing my material whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Then I go along for the ride.
That's great.
But, 20 years into it, the things you learn. And CB, what's going on with you?
Not much, man. Thanksgiving was good. Got the whole fam together. Other than that, just been working.
You shaved your mohawk.
Yeah, it started to look like a mullet, so I decided today to shave my head.
Today.
Yeah, this morning.
All right.
It looks very smooth. You
Yeah.
do look like
Like a
a
serial
master
killer.
of the dark arts.
I mean,
Like if you just put like
Slash,
a black
right?
robe
A little
on.
eyeliner, a little bit of eyeliner,
Yeah.
and this guy is Rasputin.
Yeah.
You definitely,
I
you know what?
didn't
You gotta
understand
start
that.
wearing monk's robes. You gotta wear monk's robes and
I
eyeliner.
get
just
enough
like-
weird looks walking down the street. You think that's...
Yeah, but then it's because you look unique. Right now, it's just because you're not that good looking.
No, I know, I'm ugly as
Well,
fuck.
I know what you can do. You
Nah,
can
you're
just
okay.
cover yourself in white powder or white paint. You'd be Kratos, God of War.
There it is.
Yeah.
By the way, I had the worst audition last week. I gotta tell you about it.
You know why?
Why?
You're a terrible actor.
Thank you. You're a dick.
I'm kidding. I'm just joking, man.
Okay.
Obviously, that's not true. Nobody knows. We've never seen you in anything.
You're an asshole. That's not true. I've been in a couple things. Okay, so, but anyway, it was a DirecTV commercial, and it was a guy and girl. I hate when you have to audition together, sometimes. So,
Yeah.
It was all this copy. The night before I stepped
I've
in.
ruined auditions for other people. That's true.
Well, this girl comes in, and she's like, I'm sorry, I don't speak English, right? And she's got all this fucking copy.
So it began.
Right off Italy, right off the boat, Italy. She's like, oh, in Italy I was a big actress, and I met Guy, and now he had 3 kids.
His name's Greg Wilson.
Oh, it was,
He told me, you stay with me in my house.
so we're supposed to be a married couple, right? So we sit down to rehearse. She puts her feet on me. I'm like,
Nice.
Well, you're a married couple.
yeah, but that was a commercial
With a
audition
foot
for
fetish,
DirecTV.
supposedly.
Like,
Yes.
it didn't say sit down on the couch, put feet on Guy. Like,
But it's little touches like that that make it natural.
okay, so I was like, all right, we'll do that. Right? Then she's like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to read. So then, like, she's trying to read the copy. It was a 1-minute audition turned into 12 minutes in the room. Right?
Of her trying to figure shit out.
We're supposed to improvise, right? And then it was like, oh, DirecTV, refer your friends and family. Then she's like, I have no family. My mom, I have my grandma, but she's dumb mute. And then, like, starts going this, like, stupid, like, bad improv. Oh. It was just one of those
Imagine
things.
6 months from now, you're watching TV and a commercial for DirecTV comes on and it's her and she's a new spokesman.
She's probably gonna
And don't think that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Because shit like that does happen.
Yeah.
You know, for all we know, when she was leaving the room, she threw the director, you know, the whole, I suck, you know, I love to eat dick, and my favorite.
Now she's a new Flo.
And there you go. Well, I don't think she did that, but...
Well, did you meet Flo? You met Flo?
Yeah. And that's a union job, so...
Is she like a billionaire?
She is. She's a multi-millionaire.
Wow, that's crazy, dude.
She's been doing it for like 10 years. I asked her, I said, do you even know how many commercials you've done? And she goes, no, but I think it's between 300 and 400.
Wow.
Is she a cool person?
Oh, very sweet. The coolest.
Nice.
Total, awesome professional, awesome to work with.
You single?
Absolutely. No, she's married, kids, the whole thing.
Never mind.
So, let's talk about the fight.
Never mind. Oh, let me hook you right up. Let me get right on. Hey, Flo. You looking to take care of some kid? He hasn't busted a nut in 3 weeks.
He has a best friend that's blind, so...
Yeah.
So let's talk about the fight of the wrong century.
Oh my God!
No.
Tucker, it was the battle of the decade. Okay, listen. Here's the thing. I said this was going to happen. I said this is I've met Chuck Liddell on many occasions, and you see the guy, and he does not look like the same Chuck Liddell.
Right.
I mean, you see all the wear and tear on him. And you're like, no way, this is not a good idea.
Yeah.
But of course, people are like, no, this is going to make money. De La Hoya should be ashamed of himself. People should be ashamed of themselves. This was not a good idea. We don't want to see this. Now, I'd rather see him fight Tito than fight some young upstart,
John Jones.
fucking, Yoel Romero or something. Who's just, but what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? I mean, what do we have to prove? I understand maybe people go, well, Chuck needs money. People are like, he needs money. He lives in Calabasas. He made more money than fucking most of the people in the UFC ever. How much money does he need?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the thing. Listen, it doesn't matter how much you got. You can go through it.
Of course you can.
So, I mean, you start looking at you, you're like, hey, yeah, you know what? I could use $3 million more.
But
then all of a sudden it's fucking worth it.
Now, do you think it was sad? Now, do you think Tito, because he celebrated like he just won the World Series, and and then somebody said, hey man, you could have at the end of the Muhammad Ali's life, you could have propped him up and knocked him out, but that doesn't mean you beat Ali. But at the same time, look.
But technically it does.
And Chuck did sign up for it.
Totally.
So you can't really get mad at Tito for it.
But you know what? I just was like, man, I hope everyone that paid for this feels fucking stupid. Yeah. Okay? The whole thing was a stunt. It was stupid from beginning to end. You got what you paid for. There you go. That's what you get. 30 seconds of two guys fucking avoiding each other followed by one punch.
Well, dude, my freaking stream cut out right before the main event, right before they fought. My stream just went dead.
I got news for you. You didn't miss anything.
Well, it was one of those things where I knew that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I told everyone that was going to happen. Anybody that texted me said, it's not going to be good.
That Glendale High School fight was better than this one.
Any world star hip hop fight.
No, I mean, it was one of those things where, I mean, it was great for jokes. I was making jokes about it. People were liking the jokes, but I didn't even want to make those jokes. You could watch it on the History Channel, or, the corner was the Three Wise Men, and the referee was going to be Tom from MySpace. I mean, it was just a lot of jokes to be made about this event.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to make those events at what cost?
Yeah.
You know? And I wasn't making fun of jokes about him afterwards. I didn't after he got knocked out.
Although, if you think about it, though, this is the formula. Bellator did the same exact thing.
They weren't this old.
They needed,
Bellator did
yes,
the same
just because they did it like 7 years ago. So they were this age minus 7 years.
I know.
They did the same thing, which is get the old guys, get some notoriety, and get it, And
there were other guys that were old that could have been in there. Even like the Tom Lawler, who I don't know if he's in his prime right now. Is he a little past his prime? But he's a great fighter. But that guy that beat him, Darren Wynn, I was happy for that kid. That kid's good. Undefeated wrestler. But then again, I'm like, well, would I have watched Darren Wynn fight if this wasn't on the Tuxedo undercard? But there were other fights he could have made. I mean, they gave, $250,000 to Chuck, $200,000 to Tito, and they get a percentage of the pay-per-view. You could have divvied that amongst and give it to other people and had some solid fights in there. And you're like, oh, Golden Boy's got some good guys.
See, I don't know if that's true because, I mean, you're talking about guys leaving, if you're talking about good guys, You're talking about good guys that are on, on already established league. You know, you would take a lot more money than that to lure them away from that and be like, I think so.
A lot of these guys are making 50 and 50 who are really good.
But have name value? See, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, they have name value. But if
Fucking
you're giving them pay-per-view percentage points, what their whole model was is like percent of pay-per-view. Then
you gotta have big names. You gotta have people somebody's gonna pay to see.
I don't know. Here's what Dana White said about the event. Dana White went off today. He said, listen, I love Chuck Liddell. I don't ever want to badmouth Chuck Liddell or people who remotely think I badmouth Chuck Liddell. Let's say it first. I heard last week that cokehead De La Hoya is talking shit. That I don't have any place to tell guys when to retire. First of all, it's called friendship, you fucking cokehead. I've been friends with Chuck Liddell for 20 years. So this is true. I don't know.
So wait a minute, De La Hoya's a cokehead? Because he just went up a few notches in my book.
Oh, he's been in like rehab. He's had problems for that. The reality is Chuck Liddell's retired when he should have. 8, 9 years ago, however long it was. Chuck Liddell's almost 50 years old. No business fighting anymore. The fact that the state of California even let the fight happen is disgusting, disgusting. Chuck Liddell has an incredible legacy. Huge superstar in the sport. Of course, as a friend, anybody who claimed to be a friend of Chuck Liddell, and if anybody was anywhere near this fight is full of shit, they're not a friend of Chuck Liddell, let him go in there and fight this fight. Terrible. And then he said, the problem is Chuck Liddell's a fighter. Chuck Liddell loves to fight. That's his passion. He loves what he loves. But there comes a day and age, fighting is a young man's game. You can't do it. And De La Hoya says, come over to Golden War. We respect the fighters. It makes me sick that these fighters were paid. All this shit, White said. Out of 14 bouts in the card, 5 bouts were amateur fights, which means he didn't pay them jack shit. 12 of the professional fighters in the card made less than $3,000 and $3,000. The fuck are you talking about, you cokehead junkie? Some of the guys in the card made $1,000 to fight, $1,000 to win. You know when he respects the fighter so much, he could even remember the fucking names of the press conference. He did say Chuck Liddell.
Well, it's not a sport.
And then he says, you guys want to get... Then Tito and De La Hoya were made for each other. These fucking nutheads. First of all, Tito says, you guys want to get paid? Come over to Golden Boy MMA. Are you kidding me? The couple months, the whole thing... Wait till the couple months it all pans out. Everybody's going to be suing everybody. There's no money made over there. De La Hoya's a fucking moron. Absolute moron. I don't know. Chuck allowed himself to talk to this stupid shit. And then I guess he snorted a ton of cocaine and Google him. I think he snorted a ton of cocaine and doing a lot of other shit. Shouldn't even be involved in this. So he keeps going on about, And I think he's got a point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not wrong. All of his points are right.
Yeah, but look, I don't know, man. Some people were sticking up for it. It was not my cup of tea.
There's not really much to stick up for. It was kind of an embarrassment to the sport. I mean, I wanted to make jokes of like, they don't need a slow-mo replay because the entire fight is in slow motion.
Yeah.
But
it was funny to see to make it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you should next time go with, if you think not to do it, do it. And if you think I should definitely do it, don't do it.
No, it was embarrassing to watch. I mean, I'm a huge Chuck Liddell fan. But like, we're watching a 50-year-old man who might already have early signs of CTE, just like he couldn't throw a jab to save his life. What happened to the old Liddell? They're showing, promos and stuff. He's landed 40 shots on Tito before somebody stops it. It was an embarrassment, and the saddest thing about it was the one man who cornered Chuck Liddell in every other MMA fight of his life, John Hackelman, the guy that trained him, said, I want nothing to do with this. I love Chuck, but I don't agree with this. And even afterwards says, you can be the best fighter in the world, you can think you still have it, but if you have no chin, it's going to be a long night for you.
Or a short night.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was...
That's Hackelman.
That was hard to watch. It was hard to watch, and, look, I'm all for De La Hoya getting in to fight promotion. Like, he's got a...
Yeah, exactly. He's got a
name.
promotions company. This is something he already does in the boxing world.
But Golden Boy MMA, they put up-and-coming prospects on there, I mean, they're not putting Larry Holmes versus Butterbean on there right now.
I think it was clear where their money went. And that was the lighting. That lighting was insanity! Dude, the fucking stage lights going nuts for the entire fucking thing. I mean, they put Bellator... I thought Bellator overproduced. These motherfuckers went bonkers with the lighting.
But I'm just saying, they could actually... There are young guys or good guys or even guys that like need leagues or whatever that would be great for this. So give those guys.
You're gonna tell me, like guys that we like too, like David Rashad,
or Mike Pierce, or there are guys that if you want to,
they don't sell tickets.
The thing is, but
I don't know those dudes.
This is
but the money that they spent on Chuck and Tito,
someone's still got to be the name. To
but they spent
$500,000
on those two guys alone, right?
Don't selling pay-per-views.
Save on those two guys, and you build a brand. You get you get an Olympian. You get a guy, a kid. You get Kayla Harris. You get people that like you can get excited for and seeing them grow. Or you get a person that's on top of their game that you get not a McGregor, but a McGregor type. You get an MVP out there, or somebody like that, an undefeated cat who people maybe is going to get lost in the shuffle and make him the poster boy. I mean, Sage Northcutt just left the UFC. You put Sage in there. I mean, there are guys that, yeah, they're not going to do the numbers that De La Hoya, that whatever did, but you don't have to do it.
But that's what they need. That's business.
I don't know if that's...
It isn't about the fans. It's about the sales.
There are other companies that... Not every company that starts a fight promotion does it with guys that are 50 years old past their prime.
Yeah, but he's trying to jump right out into the thick of it. He's jumping into the deep end of the pool. He's not trying to build it. He's not trying to develop talent. He's trying to just jump out there and be a promotions company.
Okay, so let's say you do like an 8-man tournament, and you take Chuck and Tito's purse, $500,000, a one-night 8-man tournament. You'll get some good fucking names in there.
But who's paying to see it?
Yeah, that's not.
It didn't last, but it
might not be
it was entertaining to watch. Golden Boy MMA is this decade's Affliction. Because when Affliction, the only difference is, no, it is worse. The only difference is Affliction lined the card with huge names. The main event, yes, Fedor, Tim Sylvia, two recognizable names. Undercard, Matt Lindland, Josh Barnett, Vitor Belfort.
Then they had a Megadeth concert in the middle of the event. Which weird.
But you know what? They didn't last.
That's pretty awesome. How did this not take off? Actually, I think it's just bad timing. I think at that time, UFC had a stranglehold on the market, and they had all the really big names. I think when Bellator came along, a lot of those big names had retired. They're thinking watered down a bit, and I think they left the door open for Bellator at that time.
Well, Bellator established their own names. That was the other thing. They established guys like Ben Askren and Hector Lombard.
No, they did, absolutely.
Alvarez. In the grassroots of Bellator,
MVP.
nobody was paying attention.
Yeah.
But you go into, let's say, even after like the 50s and 60s of the Bellator events, that's when you start to get names, and now they're, picking off different names from the organization.
But it's obviously, when Chuck Liddell's, and that's what Dana said too, is that he's messing up the guy's name. He didn't even know the guy's name. If you're saying Chuck Liddell,
it's enough already.
You obviously don't care about the sport. And then,
cocaine dries out the roof of your mouth sometimes, and you just mispronounce stuff. It's very common, actually.
Or they're trying to do Chuck Liddell versus Don Fry.
No.
No.
Oh, really?
No, Chuck said if he won, he won.
Look at you. You just threw out two names you knew would bait her in. What?
Yeah.
Get Don on the phone. Get Don on the Skype right now.
Chuck said if he beat Tito, he won a Rampage next. And I'm like, no, you don't want that headache again. Rampage isn't exactly in shape, but he's still been fighting. He's still been fighting, and that was the difference. Chuck looked decent at the weigh-ins.
Come on. No. Betty Page joke? How many people are doing Betty Page jokes right now?
Nobody, and I think that proves the point.
No, I'm original. All right, so UFC China.
Did anybody who actually watch it? Did you watch
so
it?
Not live.
No, not live, dude.
Not live at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I thought it was regular time. I woke up. I'm like, oh sweet, it's fight day. I check my Instagram. I get all the fights immediately spoiled because they have.
Dude, they spoil everywhere. And you have to. If there's a fight, people text me the results, and I go, please stop. And then you can't go on Instagram. You can't go on Twitter. I went on Waze. It was like, make it right. It was like the right that knocked out. I'm like, all right, this is fun. They fuck with you all the time. They have to stop with this.
3:30 in the fucking morning Pacific time till 7 a.m. Who the fuck is up for this?
I tried but then I fell asleep after one.
Couldn't do it. I couldn't even make it to the prelims.
But I'll tell you, Overeem looked great.
He surprisingly did. Was he so good, or was the other guy so bad?
It was a squash match.
The other guy beat nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
It was a squash fight.
Right. I was totally. I was like, this looks like he's supposed to beat this guy.
The guy was undefeated though.
What, 1-0?
No, he was 10-0. But he just had.
They fed him to Overeem.
I
like that Overeem wants Derek Lewis now. I'm like.
Oh, he'll get eaten alive. He didn't look.
I don't know if Overeem throws those body kicks and Derek Lewis happens to have to take a shit. We might.
That's actually pretty good. That's actually. I don't know who wins that fight.
I think it's a good. I mean, it's a great matchup.
He looked kind of youthful. He looked okay. He didn't look as bad.
Depends on how hot Derek's balls are.
Hey, nah.
So and then Ngannou. Man,
fuck, dude.
Now I said that. I said on this podcast, do not give up on Ngannou. I said everyone's saying he's out because
Curtis Blaze, motherfucker.
But that was the weirdest thing because it looked like he came over with a crazy wild right and didn't even hit him. Like he missed him.
Kind of glanced off the top of his head.
Watch it again, but I think the jab hurt him. the jab at the same time, he was like throwing like the jab. I think hurt him first. If you watch it, because it looks like he didn't touch him. I was like, did he just take a dive? Like, but then I go, okay, I think the jab is what actually knocked him out. But that's how hard Ngannou hits. But Curtis Blades, man, talk about bad luck.
I was going to say, okay, so was it an early stoppage or not? I didn't think so. I really didn't, because he was getting repeatedly hit in the head, and he was sort of not really defending himself.
I just don't like when a fight ends like that and the guy that's getting beat on immediately stands up
and is like, what's that about?
I'm fine. And you're like, fuck, now we have to discuss this of whether it was or was not. But at the same time, did he really want to get pummeled another 5 to 10?
Nobody, but I do, honestly, I kind of think it was an early stoppage. And this one, just because it didn't look like he was getting hit clean. It kind of looked like he was getting hit in the back of the head. His equilibrium was off. He didn't know where he was, but this dude Curtis Blades is a beast, and I do think it was an early stoppage. Now, would Ngannou won if you take my betting odds from that point on? Yes, I do think it was early, but also it was a weird stoppage. It was a weird stoppage, and I
because when he first kind of went out for a second, when he first got knocked down, and he was kind of out for 1 second, he was about to jump in right then. He was about to stop it right then, but then he recovered so fast, you're like, oh no, he's okay. And then he backed off, but then he was in this weird moment of, should I have stopped this already?
I think it was,
and I think that played into it when he was getting smacked.
I think it was an early stoppage, and I also think that sometimes, like talk fighters all the time, where they get knocked out, and then the next punch wakes them back up. It might have been a situation with that. But it's also weird sometimes, like the opposite of that is when I think it's an early stoppage, the ref stops to fight, and the guy doesn't complain at all.
Right.
That sometimes also baffles me, where it's like everyone else thinks it's, and the guy's like, oh, okay, well, maybe he's that tired, or he's more hurt than it seems like. But I've seen that happen before.
It's not like the old days when, like, Robbie Lawler got knocked out by Nick Diaz and he ran around the cage for 10 minutes going, I'm not done, like, start it up. And they're like, no, dude, you were out.
Oh, yeah, well, sometimes you see the guy tackle the ref. Or,
that was my thing. I've seen
John
Fitch do that a few
times.
Have a
lot. Yeah, they just grab the leg because they think it's
like,
it's like, you're out. Yeah, you're grabbing a panted leg right now. So
yeah, and they don't notice.
They don't notice. Yeah, like, I got a leg. Just hold on to the leg, drag him down.
Hey, you got to give it to him, though, keep fighting, though. That's a fighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
the instinct, that's how strong that instinct is at that point, is that they're still defending themselves even though they're completely unconscious.
I'll tell you who looked great. Who I was most impressed of them all was Weili Zhang beat Jessica Aguilar.
Oh, yeah.
Made it look easy. And
did you see her pre-fight picture where she was grinning like ear to ear? It was pretty.
But Jessica Aguilar was a great fighter.
But then she came out and looked tough.
Like this other girl's like now 17
she
and
cracked
1.
her head open real bad. That bleeding was all over the place. That was crazy.
She made it look easy.
Yeah.
And I don't know who this girl is, because sometimes you see 17 and 1, like, who is this person beat in Asia and yada yada. This girl's the truth. Weili Zhang. And then there was somebody that had a funny name. What was the funny name? Everyone was making jokes about it. There was somebody on the card that was like something that we would like. It was like Yadong or something.
Yeah. Oh no. Maybe that was the guy.
No, you're right.
It was
Yadong song.
Yadong song.
That's Cisco's new hit.
That's pretty great.
Yadong song. That's not bad too. Look at you.
Yeah.
All right. So
this dong 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 dong.
This week.
Who was the guy though? Did you see the guy that was the Kung Fu Monkey? What was that guy's name?
The Kung Fu Monkey?
He beat the other Latino. I only watched the Latino ones, trying to support the Latinos, and they both got beat.
Oh my! Wait, so now they're saying Ostovich
She's
back fighting Paige Van Zandt?
Yeah, she's back in.
Nice.
Really?
A lot of people are asking if this is a wise decision on her part to come back that quickly.
She just got beat up by her boyfriend.
That's true.
He got arrested.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that
going to jail for life.
Not anymore.
What?
They dropped it to second-degree assault instead of second-degree attempted murder. And he's already out. He posted a $75,000 bail and he's back on the streets.
Wow.
So is she single?
I was waiting
I think
for
it was Yadong. Was he the one?
You're not
you
even
were
single.
calling?
I
You
know,
know,
but
that
the
kid
fans
looked
wanna
good.
know.
Because he beat Vince Morales. I think that was the guy I was talking about, was Yadong.
Yadong.
Yeah, I think he was the one that he called himself the Kung Fu Monkey. That guy was fat. He looked really great.
I really wanted to make a
was
joke because
fast.
somebody put, is it too early for Rachel to come back? And I didn't want to tweet it because I thought it was a little bit classless. But you guys can tell me. I was going to say, if Ostovich didn't get knocked out by her husband, Paige can't knock her out.
I wouldn't put that
Don't,
publicly.
yeah, don't.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
not. That's, but like,
Delete that. From
unfortunately, that was like
cut
the
that.
first thing I
No,
thought
we're
about.
gonna
Like,
keep it. So us saying not to is
Okay.
it's actually good. Yeah, you know, right now you gotta look at the
I
cameraman.
know.
I don't know.
I just
think
felt like
you know,
most people are looking at that fight for the eye
Censored
candy.
comedy.
Instead of the actual
Well, it's
fight.
not that great of a joke, though. You know, like if
It
you're gonna-
really is.
If you're gonna do like a really,
it's really got to
Oh, I
hit.
know.
It's got to
I
be
know.
funny.
It's got-
It's got to be worth it. So you at least debate whether or not you're mad at it.
right,
If it's not funny, then you're like, bad, lame, you suck.
right, of course.
I think more people are interested in the weigh-in for that fight
Oh
than
my
the
God.
actual fight.
Ooh, yeah.
Is that when they wear their tiny little bikinis and
Yeah.
you see their
Yeah.
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 well,
Remember
it's-
Holly Holm had that incredible fucking camel toe?
Big
That
old
was,
dick in there.
yeah, that was.
But she had what?
Well, she was accused of taking steroids because she had a big old clitoris.
She had a clit dick. It looked like.
Yeah, because they say that's what happens to girls when they take steroids. Like if you look at Chris Cyborg's vagina,
See, I
it has
didn't-
a big old thing on there.
No, it doesn't.
It
Okay,
happens.
you
It has to have. I mean, I haven't seen it, but just looking at it, it
So
has
how
to
do you know?
have
It has to happen.
It
How
has
do you
to
know
have
about
something
this?
like that. It's just science, dude. It's, I mean,
It's wait, what science?
when girls take a lot of steroids,
They grow dicks?
their clitoris is getting large. That's why if you go on Pornhub and you type in like the super ripped chicks who like take a lot of steroids, they have gigantic clitorises.
Wait, what do they
I've
have?
never
Clitorises?
typed that in.
Clitoriuses.
All right, I didn't
By
know
the way,
that.
that's a planet that was recently discovered. Clitorius.
I've definitely never
Fucking
typed
send
that.
these two over there, please. So, this Friday night, I'm going to the Tough finale. Can't wait.
Where's that at?
It's in Vegas.
Okay.
You wanna come?
Nah,
You-
I don't
you
want to go
just-
to Vegas for a
you
long
just walk
time.
there, right?
Yeah.
But
He'll start
I
walking
don't want to go
around.
Vegas for a long
Take
time.
the blind
So
guy.
many bad memories.
Yeah.
He's gonna fly now. He's gonna fly.
why do I feel like this blind guy has no
I
idea
love
he was in a
flying.
movie?
I love flying.
He still won't, so it's okay.
45 minutes. Plane goes up, comes right down.
His blind friend who happens to want to walk to Vegas for his
Yeah.
student film.
Yeah.
This sounds so fucking
I
sketchy.
think it's an episode of The Twilight Zone, but it might have been real.
I think it's
I'll
like
be
probably like a blind homeless guy, and he probably just had like one of those like fishing rods, and
Right.
he held a cheeseburger in front of him for
Yeah.
he went to Vegas. Anyway, so like a car. All right, that was horrible. So Chitty Bang.
He's
This
blind. He's not fat.
thing- I don't know. Chitty Bang
Like
is taking
Bellator or UFC?
Bellator first. It's on DAZN or DAZN.
What?
Yeah, I think I finally figured out it's DAZN.
Yeah.
DAZN. But there's no O.
I know,
Duh.
but I heard an announcement on like a
duh.
commercial for
But why, you can't just
Chuck
add
Cheeto.
add
I
letters.
know. I always thought it was Dazin or yeah.
D-
I actually
Yeah.
like Dazen more than DAZN. Dazen sounds cool.
But there's no O.
Don't worry. In 6 months, we won't have to debate it because it won't exist anymore.
It'll be the done. All right, so
Dun.
He's redeemed.
I did good. Yesterday I had some funny ones. It was what did I have? I remember I had something. I dreamed about something funny. Hey, all right, so Chitty Bang's taking on John Salter. So I was on a tear, right?
Salter's short notice replacement though.
For who?
Melvin Manov.
Oh, Chitty Bang would have beat Melvin Manhoef.
He probably would have knocked him out.
But I think Salter's
But I
hard-
still love watching Melvin Manov fight.
Salter's a harder fight. At this
Yeah,
stage of the game.
Salter's a real tough dude.
Ooh, who wins this?
I think it's a striker versus grappler matchup, man, and I think Salter, if he gets it down, it's over.
Oh, thanks, but it doesn't.
I think Salter in the upset.
I want Chitty Bang. That's my man. Chitty Bang. David Rickles, the caveman.
Oh, Rickles is back.
I gotta say,
I always liked Rickles. He never wins, but I like him.
I gotta say though, that fight against MVP, I held Rickles in such high regard until that MVP fight. He quit. He gave up.
It was ridiculous.
I mean, maybe he was more hurt than I. Look, I would have quit before.
It
the fight.
didn't look good though.
Man.
It didn't look good.
And he's
for
a
his
caveman.
resume.
I was gonna say he puts on a better show than a fight.
Sometimes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
No,
he's got the
not always.
persona, and he wears the outfit and the whole thing, and then he comes out.
Not always. He's 19-5.
I know, yeah, he's won some fights, but it seems like when he really gets into the big stage, all of a sudden.
Didn't he get whooped on by Chandler recently too?
Yeah, but
Chandler
the
beat
MVP
his
thing was
ass.
the
But
worst.
I do like him. Don't get me wrong. I like him. I like
Taking
watching.
on Gahambre Bamba. Who's that? G-U-I...
Is that Francis Ngannou's cousin?
Wait, let me see.
G-U-I-H-E-R-M-E. Gahambre Bamba. I feel like he trains with Alan.
Yeah, that's Bomba from Tough. He trains out of Black House.
Yeah, right? He's really good,
that's
right?
a good matchup. Yeah, Bomba's tough, man. He's a very, very hard hitter.
They always talk about him. Alan always talks about how good he is.
Yeah, he was the one that also Denny Lovato left Rockhold for him.
Oh.
She went from a main event champion in the UFC to what at the time a prelim Bellator guy.
Yeah. At that
Wow.
point, at that time, I said she had like MMA Tinder. Or she just kind of went.
She was just scrolling through the fires going, oh, fuck that one next.
I mean, Demi Lovato, like you wouldn't?
Yeah, but didn't she?
Kidding me? Put me on the list.
Didn't she
Even though
leave-
you're engaged now, would you still do it?
Sure.
Why?
Why not? It's Demi
You're
Lovato.
cheating on your girl.
I know I'm not. It's
Well,
only
I'm sure
cheating.
she would allow it.
Yeah,
Demi
exactly.
Lovato.
I'd be like, come on.
I know
babe,
your
it's
girl.
Demi
She wouldn't allow
Lovato.
it.
You don't know her.
I know her.
No, you don't.
She would not
She
allow it.
might be into it.
I mean,
Has
Greg
she
might
ever
actually be
allowed
able
you
to pull it
to
off.
shoot with anybody?
I've never asked. But I would for Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
Be like, come on, babe. Come on, Demi Lovato.
I don't know. Demi Lovato's had depression in the past. This might put her out.
Or this might, I was going to say, that's what puts her in my league.
Well, I was gonna tell you, she also left Bomba for Wilmer Valderrama.
No, she hadn't. They were dating a long time ago. I think he was.
She went back to some like.
I think he was just helping her through her depression.
I saw Wilmer at Starbucks.
That's
the
one
other
way
day.
to help her through the depression.
I'm gonna say if Wilmer could see
Pump, 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 pump
Dude,
it up.
Wilmer, are you kidding? Wilmer's.
All he does is get ass. That guy's.
I
oh
know.
my God.
I just all I think of is Fez.
Dude,
Remember, he got in trouble for going on Stern and talking about like finger banging all these chicks, these celebrities, and then their boyfriends were like, "Fuck this dude."
No, I saw him at Starbucks the other day. He was like out on a jog or something. He stopped at Starbucks. I love that 70s show, so I was like, is that Fez?
Me and him had like a deal together for a while. We were working on a show together.
Oh, is that right?
He's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
So Juan Archuleta, who I think is the most underrated fighter in the world, he's 20-1. He's taking on Jeremy Spoon. Who's Jeremy Spoon?
Not a fucking clue. He's just another sacrificial lamb to Archuleta's resume.
Damn.
Wow. What?
Dark.
You don't need
No.
the fucking makeup for that one. Look, he is wearing a hood, though. Face the camera and say that right in the camera, would you?
By the way, your guy got kicked out of the wrestling. That guy that you're like, remember you used to open every show going, boom, boom, shake the room.
Oh, I know. No, he showed up to the Staples Center and tried to hide in a disguise at Survivor Series. But then he brought up his own WWE Custom Championship and did his entrance in the second row in the middle of a match. Security tackled his ass, kicked him out, and Staples Center banned him for life.
No, what happened to this guy?
Also, he had a show the night before at the Whiskey.
Yeah.
6 people showed up.
What kind of show?
It was a rap concert for him.
He's a rapper?
He
Wait, what's his name?
No, he's not.
Enzo. Well, it was Enzo Amore.
Didn't he do like domestic abuse or something? What happened?
So, why he got kicked out of WWE was for raping a girl. But this girl in her
It's a
interviews,
legit reason.
Yeah.
But this
I
girl
usually
in her
doesn't.
interviews was not credible at all, and he ended up not getting convicted. Like they
Oh, so
didn't
he was
really
accused of
pursue-
rape. He wasn't.
Yeah. So
when
but
you
then
say
they
he got kicked out
him
for raping a girl, that,
Well, they kicked him out for the accusation, but
Yeah.
it was never proven, and they just wouldn't let him back in. But like, out of the 3 people, him, his old tag team partner, and their valet, the valet is the only one left in WWE. The
Wow.
other guy got kicked out for grabbing the valet.
and what was his catchphrase?
He had a lot.
You mean they got thrown out for actually fighting?
Yeah, they got a fight in the bag.
No, but what was the catchphrase that you used to always do?
This is the
Those guys in the
WWE.
room.
We don't allow real fighting here. Get the fuck out.
Wait, what was it?
Bada
pussy.
We didn't write
Oh my God,
that.
we can't talk at the same time. What was it?
Bada boom, realest guys in the room. How you doing?
That was like your phrase for a while.
You loved it, yeah, that's right.
A
You
lot
didn't
of
say
the shit
something.
I love.
You said it one time on the show. Why? You like got lit up or that?
Yeah.
That was fun.
All right, so
That was
also
classic.
That's what I'm here for.
Daniel Weichel is taking on
People liked
Gotti
it, though.
Yamiochi.
That's a good matchup, actually. Weichel lost the title fight recently, I think, and Goiti's the one.
Bubba beat.
Bubba beat him. Chandler completely neutralized his game. Goiti's a really, really tough grappler. That's actually a really good
And
matchup.
then Joe Schilling's on the card,
Nice.
taking on Will Morris.
I hope Schilling's focused, man, because if focused Joe Schilling's a very tough dude.
It's crazy that like Schilling is actually smokes cigarettes all the time, and he's fighting a guy named William Morris. Oh, that's not William Morris. William Morris is the agent. Philip
Philip Morris.
Ah,
Philip
fuck,
Morris.
there goes my joke. All right, I'm editing that out. Okay, so
No, it stays in. That's what's
No,
left
that
in the
was
second
terrible.
part.
They can't all be gems or even make sense. All right, and then Joe Warren is taking on Sean Bunch.
Yeah, he's on the prelims.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Joe's pissed.
Yeah, right?
And
He's a
then-
bit of a name.
My friend who's a
He's
comic.
been around forever.
Ever.
He's one of the original Bellator guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he
And
calls
then-
himself the baddest man on the planet.
And then Gerald Harris on the card. We do comedy together. He's a comic and a fighter. Who got cut from the UFC. It was bullshit the way he got cut. He lost one fight. He kept beating people by body slam.
But that seems to be kind of epidemic over there, right? Like,
What?
if
Yeah.
you either keep winning, get on a streak and build a name, or they cut you after a loss. I mean, that's it.
And then Chris Honeycutt's on the undercard too. It's actually the undercard's really good on this. I would say.
Yeah, Honeycutt was
arguably-
in Chuck's corner the other night, and I'm like, Chris, you're wasting your time.
And then, all right, so that's on the same night as the.
Now, when
opening-
you said that, could he hear you, or
No,
were you just
watching
saying
on
this into
TV.
the? Oh, okay.
you said it to yourself.
Yes, because I yell at football games all the time, and then I look,
Well, it's just weird
and then
seeing
they do
Chuck's
this shit
corner.
that I say that, and I look at someone and I go, "It's like they can't even hear."
Yeah,
Chuck's corner was just very interesting.
you should say to myself as opposed to what I said.
Well,
Chris.
the girl was there. I don't think she was listening.
But
But
you said that you said it to Chris.
I love. He's so.
I said to him, I said, "Chris."
You leave out a couple words.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Like I had a Netflix special. I watched a Netflix special. This
Right,
one-
they're so close. They're right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
you know, one is the same as the other. 6 and 1, half dozen.
So Rafael dos Anjos taking on Kamaru Usman, Ultimate Fighter finale.
Really?
Yes,
Nice.
I'm gonna be there. I think I have to leave right before that fight, of course, because I got 2 shows in Vegas this week. One at the House of Blues at 9:30, and then at the Dirty at 12:30 at the South Point. So I think Usman's gonna run through dos Anjos.
I agree.
Yeah. He's bigger, isn't he? He's a lot
bigger. He's younger. He's less
lot
miles. He's just. I think.
Well, aren't
The
all of his
Nigerian
fights
nightmare.
aren't all of his fights super boring? Like he's just like that grindy.
Only when he goes to 30%.
Yeah, him and so yeah, he has a very Colby Covington style of fighting, and I think that's what Dos Anjos has. And Bubba left Dos Anjos' camp. Remember, he came here and said he's no longer with him. You were there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not good.
Dos Anjos has been doing he kind of pulled the Johnny Hendricks move, where he left a bunch of big camps and just kind of formed his own, and it's kind of like, I don't know, you're either going to do really well or you're just kind of going to shit the bed, and it may not be the best decision for your career. But I see Kamaru getting the shot when he beats Dos Anjos. He should get the shot at the winner of Colby and Tyron.
Yes, I agree.
Mm.
In the Ultimate Fighter finale, Justin Frazier is taking on Juan Espino. You watch it this year at all?
Yes, and I wanted to comment actually about the most recent episode, but I didn't know if everybody watched
Nobody
it.
has, but tell us anyway.
Well, this dude Maurice Green.
I've missed the last 17 seasons.
Yeah. This guy Maurice Green has been talking shit and getting shit-faced drunk every episode.
Yeah, I've seen some of that.
And talked shit to this guy Juan. And Juan's a super wrestler, but very, very powerful, and he just fucking
Was he
murdered.
the Olympian guy? The guy that made the Olympics?
Yeah, and he
Cuban?
murdered fucking Maurice the other night, like an overhand right to a left uppercut, and Maurice just dropped like a sack of shit and just got beat on. I don't think Justin Frazier's a big heavyweight. He's
Is
one
he
of
the
those
guy from Ohio or something?
He's the one with the bear claw tattooed
Yeah.
on him, and he just lays on you because he's fat.
Yeah.
He's like the new Roy Nelson, but without power.
Yeah.
I think Juan Espino's going to
compliment.
destroy him.
Okay, and also Penny Kanzad is fighting. Who's she fighting?
Isn't it Leah Letsu?
I don't know, but
Oh,
all right.
no. They have to determine it this week. The episode's on tomorrow night. It's either Macy Chazon or Leah Letson.
I like Penny. Remember she came on the podcast and Tanya Evinger beat her, and
Yes.
it got really awkward because Tanya was in the studio and
She hung up.
just not being nice to Penny at all. But then we have
Yeah,
Penny
yeah,
out
yeah.
with Rashad. Remember Rashad was singing to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Penny. She's a cool chick. Now this is for 145.
Yeah, this is 145.
Okay.
And they canceled out a lot of big name people that should have gotten in the house.
So the winner of this fights Cyborg, I guess.
No, I don't think there's a title shot on the line at all.
All right. So Brian Caraway versus Pedro Munoz.
I love this fight.
I hope Caraway wins. Talk to me about Pedro Munoz.
Pedro Munoz, from what I remember, he might have changed camps, but he was out of Kings and Black House. Super good jiu-jitsu player, great grappler, and not bad on the feet either. I think he's the guy that can give Caraway a major fit in this fight, and I'm not sure where to go with it, but I'm pretty certain it'll be a good fight.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Edmund.
I agree. I totally agree with all that.
Stewart.
That's exactly.
Fucking know.
I was thinking
I know
about
the
those same
Valentina
things.
sisters debuting.
Yeah.
Antonina Shevchenko.
Yeah,
She
she's
was
supposed
going
to-
to fight Ashley Evans Smith.
Yeah, that
Now
was-
she's fighting Ji Yeon Kim.
Who's that?
Not 100% sure. Short notice replacement.
Okay.
I think Antonina walks through her no matter who she is.
All right, so Daryl Horcher, he's the guy that fought Khabib. He's taking on Roosevelt Roberts.
I actually know about Roosevelt Roberts.
Why?
He trains out of Ruka with Jalen Turner, Michael Bisping, Tito.
Oh, yeah.
RDA. This kid has been highly touted. Not a lot of people know who he is, though. The most recent videos I've seen on him is half training and half draining his cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to give...
Delicious.
Yeah.
I think he's going to give Daryl Horcher a good
A
fit.
classic Thanksgiving treat. Draining of the
I
cauliflower.
used to get my drain every week. It
Did
was
you really?
The worst. And then it would come right back. You take a shower, it comes right back. It
Yeah.
turns purple. And everybody, I had purple ears. The kids used to tease me. They used to be like, look at Adam. And they put, like, during lunch, they would take broccoli and put it in their ears. This one kid going, I'm Adam. And put, like,
Hilarious.
Surprise
Good
effect,
job,
man.
guys.
Surprise effect.
when you're 14, I guess it's funny. And Joe's still
Yeah,
laughing.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I would laugh today. I would laugh today.
You would have been the kid with the fucking cauliflower.
Yeah.
Joseph Benavidez taking on Alex Perez.
That's a good fight.
Is there honestly a point in this flyweight division anymore? Dana already
I thought it was terminated.
He's flip-flopping. Well, no, but now I originally thought Dillashaw Cejudo was for 135.
It's at
Dillashaw's
125.
dropped it to 125.
Which I think gives Cejudo the advantage because Dillashaw has no fat at 135.
Yeah, where is
How
that?
is he making 125?
Cutting his fucking one arm off? I don't know.
I mean, what is he
That's a
doing?
bad plan.
And then Chris Gutierrez, I know him. He's taking on Ronnie Barcelos. Tim Means is fighting Ricky Rainey. Ricky Rainey's the guy that got knocked out quickly by MVP. And then went on the Ultimate Fighter, and then won his last fight, or he lost last fight. He's fighting Tim Means.
There's a
Means
lot
should
of like
win.
one-name sides to this where who they're fighting, you don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, yeah. But it should be good.
Is that the tough finale?
That's
Yeah,
tough
it's a
finale.
tough
And then there's
on
another one the
Friday.
next day?
Saturday.
No, that's not
Yeah, Saturday there's a UFC as well. Junior Dos Santos is back
Oh,
against
fuck, dude.
Tai Tuivasa.
Oh, wow.
The Shui.
Wow, this guy, Tai Tuivasa is really good. He's the guy with the tattoos all over his body. Look, he's wearing pants.
He's the one when he wins, he goes in the audience, gets the guy's shoe, puts the beer in it, and then chugs the fucking beer out of the
That's
guy's
gross. It's called
Adidas.
shooting the boot.
Very
It's very
gross.
gross.
He calls it a shoey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Mark
I
Hunt's
met
back.
some Marines that did that one time, and they made us all spit in this one boot, and then
That's what they do. He
then
gets somebody
drank it.
spit in it, and he
Then pour
drinks
some
it.
beer in it, and then they drink the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's called shooting the boot. It's fucking gross. It's one of the grossest things I've ever seen in person.
Yeah.
Wow, you've seen some gross
And
shit.
I've seen some gross shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
snorted cocaine out of a girl's butthole.
That's one of the best things I've ever seen in person.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yep.
Dos Santos versus, I think, I gotta go with Ty on this.
I'm going with Tuivasa with the upset.
I mean,
Junior's had a lot better days about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
prime Dos Santos, I think,
No
beats.
chance.
But Mark Hunt versus Justin Willis.
Of course, you know, we wrote off, what's his name?
Overeem?
Yeah, we never know.
We didn't write him off. We didn't know the other guy. We actually know the other guy in this one.
Yeah.
We didn't know who that guy was. All right, so Mark Hunt
I
versus
would've-
Justin Willis.
It's a good fight, dude. They're both, thick boys. Justin Willis, don't underestimate his physique. He's pretty good, dude.
Do you even know what you're talking about?
No.
Yeah, he does. You know who he is, right?
I've seen him. I think
They're the
he's seen him
thick
fight like
boys.
twice.
He just beat Chase Sherman by
Ooh.
decision.
Ooh.
But this is Mark Hunt's last fight on his contract with the UFC.
Wow.
So
Dude,
expect
I
a
want
Bellator
all the
signing.
audience to do themselves a favor and just put thick boys into the section.
Big boy.
See what you get.
Now,
See what
are
you
still
get
watching
for your thick
transgender
boys.
porn or no?
He's looking for them thick boys.
No, not really. I'm more into like torture stuff and
What?
Go back to
torture
transgender.
stuff.
Like,
Okay, now stop. Don't even.
Is it watching CB's act?
Oh!
No, what's torture stuff?
Well, I mean, it's such a big, broad, sort of like off category BDSM, but it's very, very broad. You see, you have torture stuff like a guy will be, he'll wrap a rope around his testicles and squeeze it really tight, and then have a girl come in wearing super 10-inch tall high heels,
Right.
This is the
and just
upset.
stomp on his balls
Yeah,
and
yeah.
heel. And I mean,
I've heard about this, but
it's
I
a real
have no
thing.
desire
It's
to see
no,
it.
I mean, I like to see it. I don't.
Of
no, I don't.
course,
'Cause
'cause
I'm
you're
not aroused by
fucking
it.
Wait,
You're not aroused by it?
wait,
You're just
excuse me.
watching it for what? You're just watching it because you have time to kill?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? You just
So what's
watch-
going on with how's your lady then? Did she miss you on your
Hold
drive?
on, wait. You're just watching it like how long do you watch this for?
No, it's just when I can't sleep at night. Maybe just for 1 or 2 hours. But
There's this new thing you can get here in California called weed.
yeah,
And instead of watching torture porn,
yeah,
you can just smoke a little weed and get some rest.
yeah, yeah.
That's an option in America. in
Now,
California.
Joe, your woman has never had sex before, right?
No.
and you're watching torture porn.
Probably never
Yeah.
will now.
Now, do you see how this could potentially be a problem?
I mean, sure. But I mean, I also like, there's not just torture porn, dude.
Okay.
I like, I mean, there's some nasty stuff. You gotta go on the dark web for the stuff that I watch.
Like
but-
what?
Oh God! Stop talking.
No.
Stop.
Thank you.
Stop.
Thank you, Greg.
Before you
Thank
incriminate
Wait,
yourself.
what are you
No. Stop talking. I don't want to
If
hear
Greg's
this.
shutting you down,
You don't want to say it. Don't put it on the record.
Wait, is it-
don't
is it
don't
legal
do
what
it.
you're saying?
Oh, it's legal.
It's legal. All right, what is it?
No, it's not. If you have to go on the dark web for it, it's not legal.
Wait. All right, go on. What are you
So it's
watching?
basically like,
Stop encouraging this. This kid's got his whole life in front of him.
Go on.
what they'll do is
Go on. What a dick.
they'll put these girls in like these saw traps, like in the movie Saw.
oh Jesus Christ!
But they're real traps. What they do, they're not fatal, but they're like some, I don't know, nothing. They're not going to die. They're not going to have their jaw ripped off or anything. But
They
they're
just
like
can't
saw
fight
traps.
back.
Yeah, so they're bound up and they're getting cut and tortured and whipped and stuff, and they're all bloody. And then there's these, like this giant black guy wearing an executioner hood comes in and fucks them. I'm glad this is being recorded on video too.
Jesus, I tried to tell you.
Yeah,
I'm sitting right here,
yeah,
and everyone can hear me
yeah.
except you.
I mean, it's not that bad.
Well, but it's actors, right? It's not like a real. It's not like
No,
really-
they're not like real people getting captured off
Okay,
the street, but it is German, a lot of it, so you never know.
Of course it is. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Why? What do you mean? Of course.
Germans, they're fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, they're freaks, man.
Yeah.
Except
Not
for
all.
my girl, she's not.
She's German?
Yeah, she's born in Germany. And
Okay.
has German on her dad's side.
So Tony Martin, who I like a lot, he's dating Kayla Harrison, the judoka.
Wow.
He's fighting Jake Matthews. We've had him on the show. A young kid, really
Australia, right?
Australia.
Yeah, he's good.
really good. He lost to Kevin Lee that one fight. He's won like a bunch of fights in a row since then. He's a good fighter. Really
He's
good
really
fighter.
good, man.
That should be a good fight. That should be a really good fight. Tony Martin, Jake Matthews.
Who
And
you
then
got?
Are you talking about Shogun?
Sadiq. Oh, Shogun. Who's Shogun fighting?
Tyson Pedro?
Ooh, that could be rough.
That's gonna be rough. I think Shogun needs to hang him up.
You think?
It's been a while. It's been enough time.
Yeah, and Tyson Pedro is a monster.
He's one of those guys who you're like, he's still fighting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even worse that when DC won the light heavyweight title.
But even that, like, I would rather watch Shogun. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I'd rather watch Shogun versus anybody than Chuck versus Tito. I mean,
Yeah,
Shogun, you could say, is
yeah.
still sort of in his. He still could fight. What were you saying, DC?
But he is on the border of being in that category, though.
No, Chuck had lost 3 fights in a row, got knocked out, and hadn't fought in 9 years, and they put him in there. I wouldn't put him in. I wouldn't put Boy in that category. Like some guy.
Even his mitt work rivaled Dada 5000. Chuck.
What does that mean?
His open workout was rough to watch.
Okay, thank you.
I remember.
Because I remember Dada 5000 being just awful.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
His
okay.
mitt work was even worse.
I remember when they were going to the Donna's training camp, and they were showing him on like the bench press, and he was doing like
Yeah,
Yeah, he
130
was
or
pushing the
something.
Subway sandwich.
Yeah, and I was like, "What? This is what you got?" And then he like went into a coma for like a month or something after that, right? Didn't he almost?
He pretty much almost died in the cage with Kimbo, and
Yeah. Also, Sadiq Youssef is on this card. We had him on the podcast. He's the guy that had
Oh,
like
nice.
he had he grew up in a family of like polygamists, and he had like 20 brothers and sisters,
Nice.
and like 4 moms, and like but it's like in Africa.
Right,
And it was like it wasn't like it was shameful at all.
It's never
Right
four
now,
dads. It's always four
there's a
moms.
lot of like
Yeah.
good names or fights on this card. Yushin Okami's back. Wilson Hayes and Ben Wynn.
Ooh, Ben
That's a
Winston.
really good
That was the
flyweight
guy that,
fight.
like, he fought that bully. There was a thing on the internet where Jesse Jess's ex-boyfriend who beat her up.
It was
And-
Julian Wallace. I think
Yeah,
his
it was
name.
like talking all this shit to this like smaller Asian guy, and the Asian dude just knocked him out quickly. It was
Oof,
it was
it was
amazing.
pretty
It was like when
entertaining.
bullies get owned if you Google one of those things.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but it was an actual fight.
I gotta say something about Jesse Jess too. We can talk about it after these fights though.
What's that?
Well, I texted you. I said, because I arrived in Vegas like a week ago for my trip,
Yeah.
and I texted Jesse. I said, "Yo, I'm finally in Vegas. You can meet the Wing Dog in person." And she says, "Yeah, that's awesome." I said, "Can I stop by the Performance Institute because she's always there like every day?"
Right.
And she says, "Yeah, come on by. I'll be there from like I don't want to say what time she's there, but I'll be there at this certain time.
Right.
And so I'm like, all right, sweet. So that day that she said for me to come by, I texted her. I said, hey, is it okay for me to come by still? And she says, oh no, I can't. I have to change of plans. I got a fight coming up. I'm going to be very busy.
Ah.
And she said, don't worry, next time you're in Vegas, you can come stay at my place. So I got to,
Really?
I mean,
You got to get back to Vegas.
Things got spicy between me
Wow.
and Jesse Jets.
So you said her place was the Holiday Inn?
Yeah, I mean, heart emojis, it was
No
serious.
way, really?
Yeah, I mean.
But don't you have a girlfriend?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
but
what
she
if Vince
all that.
Pacelli hears
Fiance.
this?
What?
What if Vince hears this?
Oh, he's a fiance now?
I thought you were engaged to her.
No, I thought about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but then you guys convinced me not to.
Good.
But then weren't you? Didn't
Does
you?
she listen to this?
Weren't you gonna get like a some kind of a? What were you doing?
I think it
Baptist?
conflicts with her brain.
Weren't you becoming baptized too?
Yeah, it's to restore my virginity, dude. But I understand Jess. I know she listens to every episode that I'm on, so I just want to say, it's okay if you don't need to, get upset or anything. I'll be back in Vegas in a short while. No big deal.
Right.
And this has been your long distance dedication.
Yeah.
All right.
Jess and Jess, if you're out there, the wing dog's whipping one out for you.
In front of a blind guy.
So pull up real close to your phone speaker right now. This one's going out to you from the wing dog.
That was insane. All right. So we're calling Eryk Anders. He's got a fight coming up against Elias Theodoro. He's fighting our friend.
Oh, Elias. Yeah. It's good to see him back fighting. I know it's been kind of tough getting back in the ring.
Yeah, the ring boy. It's gonna be a good fight. Him and Eryk Anders.
Yeah.
It's an interesting fight.
What league? What station? What time is it?
It's gonna be. I think it's the UFC in Toronto.
231?
Yeah, I'm almost positive.
Yes.
Hello?
Hey, Eryk Anders.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, man? This is your boy. You're on the MMA Roasted podcast. How's everything going, man?
Man, chilling, man. What's going on with you?
Everything's good, man. I got the baby. I took your advice, which is what you said, just try to keep her alive. So that's what I'm
That's
trying
it, man.
and then everything's
You
good, man.
got to keep her alive. You just got to keep her alive so she can feed herself. Then it's downhill from there.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, how old is your baby now?
I got a 9 and 7-year-old, 2 boys.
Wow. Are they keeping you busy?
Yeah, they're pretty self-sufficient at this point. So
At
it's
9?
getting to the point where I'm not cool anymore. They just want to go do their own thing.
Really? Your father who played for Alabama, who national championship 2 times, and also a UFC fighter is not cool to his own kids?
Man, sometimes, but not unless I have a fight coming up.
Oh, wow. Man, what fucking hope do I have? If this guy's not good for his kid, forget about it.
He's probably doing girlier than I am.
So you're fighting Elias Theodoro, December 8th, right?
Yes, sir.
Now you guys have some beef. You called him out. Why Elias?
Man, he's just in that top 15 range. Man, simply nothing other than that. I'm trying to work my way in. He's actually fighting for that belt, so he's just a stepping stone in that process.
Right. Now I know Elias is his strength is his cardio and tenacity. The guy just keeps going and going and going. He's he doesn't get tired. How are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, I don't know about tenacity. He does have good cardio. Man, I have good cardio too. With the exception of that last fight, I put my 2 pairs on. I was going to get down the fight. I thought 25 minutes, so I think I'm good to go in that aspect.
1,000%. Your last fight, by the way, it was fight of the night. It was an awesome fight. Unfortunately, you didn't win. I was rooting for you. But you were close. Were you surprised that Santos was able to take your punch? Because you fucking hit him hard a bunch of times.
No, I wasn't surprised, man. I just don't, he's been around, so he's got a lot of fight, so, I think he got knocked out by David Branch, but I think that was more so David Branch hitting him in the right spot. So, I was certainly trying to land in that same spot, but, it didn't work out for me so well.
Hey, no, dude, you had nothing to... First of all, you took that fight on, short notice. That wasn't even, your weight class, was it?
Hey, your phone breaking up. What's that?
Wasn't it, at a different weight class? You took that fight on, short notice. You had 3 different opponents, and then it wasn't even, your weight class, that fight, right?
Yeah, it was at 205. You know, I'm definitely one of the bigger middleweights, and you know, I can compete at 205. I think so. You know, fighting at 205, that's not an issue.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I mean, that was a crazy fight. It seemed like at the end, when you were down, you were out because of exhaustion. Were you hurt, or were you just tired as fuck?
Man, you know, I'm tired as fuck, but I mean, I can't say that the elbows didn't hurt either.
Yeah. No, I felt for you, man. I was like, I mean, me knowing you, me being your friend, I was like, holy shit. But then I was like, man, maybe he's just really tired. Like I was hoping that you were more tired than hurt. So,
man, you know, it's part of the game, so you know it is what it is, man. No need to feel sorry or hurt for me, you know. It's all good.
No, of course, you're my friend. You came to my comedy show, and there were 6 people there, and you were one of them. And then you sent me a.
I just didn't have anything else to do that night, man. It was Fresno, California. What else is there to do?
I really appreciate that. And you came with your team. Now it seems like you're like the star of your camp, which is great. But have you ever thought about going to like a bigger camp, like one of these like one-stop shop, like an ATT or a Greg Jackson or a TriStar?
Not really, man. You know, I got my family here, and you know, we're settled in here, nice and comfortable. Walt Harris, big heavyweight, just moved over to Spartan, so you know, glad to have him around. So you know, he's fighting Andre Arlovsky December 29th, I believe.
Wow, that's gonna be a good fight. Now, Walt Harris was a guy that you said you'd never taken an MMA course before, never took a class, walked in, they threw you in the ring with him, and he beat the living shit out of you for like an hour. Is it different now? And how good does it feel now?
Man, you know, they pretty much go the same. I'm just a little more savvy at defending myself and fighting in general. So, you know, it works out a little bit better for me now.
Good. Now, your last 2 fights, right? Now, the one fight I was worried about you was that Tim Williams fight because you were a 10-1 favorite. And I'm like, man, when you're a 10-1 favorite and you don't knock a guy out in the first round, is that a pressure on you going like, oh, like, was it almost too much pressure on you because you were such a big favorite against that guy?
No, not at all. You know, this fight's 3 rounds for a minute. And, you know, Tim Williams trains too, so, you know, I got to a really slow start, man. Just wasn't quite feeling myself. Maybe put a little bit too much weight, got a little too big. After weighing, so I think it had a little bit to do with it. But you know, that second and third round really got things rolling, and you know, maybe I'll cash in on the year of eligibility for the kicker for all.
Oh my God, that kick was amazing. That was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And you won $50,000 for that kick, right?
I did, yeah.
And then you won $50,000 again for your last fight. So your last 2 fights, you got $100,000 extra.
Yeah, you know, I cashed in a little bit.
Good for you. What did you do with the money?
I let my wife manage everything, so we invest.
You're so Jewish.
It's better that way, man. If I get it, you know, it's all, you know, I'm gonna spend it all. So
No,
I let her invest.
have you seen his wife? His wife is this
You know,
like hot.
let the money make money.
His wife is this hot Brazilian butt model who just does.
Congratulations on winning
she does
life, sir.
Squats on Instagram all day.
Nice.
And is like his biggest supporter. Oh my God, he's just like this big black dude, and this hot Instagram Brazilian model. You did do very good for yourself, by the way. Very good. We're all very impressed.
I appreciate it, man. I got good taste.
No problem. Now, what was it like growing up on army bases?
Man, it was cool. You know, lived in several different countries, Japan and the Philippines, and got to see a bunch of, you know, different ways of life. Traveled a lot, all across the United States. So, you know, it was cool.
What now? Did the Filipinos must have loved you?
Now I was just a little baby, so you know I didn't get a chance to go to no donkey shows or, you know, go see the women, you know.
I didn't mean it like that, asshole. I meant like you're this cute little baby in the Philippines. They must have been like, oh wow, are you right? I mean, you probably stand out, no?
Oh yeah. No, there's definitely not a lot of black people in walking around the Philippines, especially tall Filipinos. You know, my dad is 6'2", 6'3", so he's like the tallest person on the whole island.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
Did your parents get very nervous for your fights?
Man, if you watch any one of my fights, you can always hear my mom screaming. I'm not even sure she knows what she's cheering. She just screams my name really loud at random times during the fight. So next time you watch one of my fights, you'll be able to hear it for sure.
That's awesome.
The old Machida fight in particular.
Now you were a college football player. You played in the CFL. What are your thoughts about who's the guy from the Cowboys that came over that had the domestic violence? What's that guy's?
Greg Hardy.
What are your thoughts about Greg Hardy?
I think Greg Hardy's a phenomenal athlete, man. I think that he certainly has potential to be a heavyweight champ. There's just not a lot of guys that move like him, and the amount of power that he can generate in a short area is unreal. I think he's 4-0 or 5-0 with 5 knockouts. So, he's doing pretty well for himself. And, he's an all-pro defensive lineman. So, he excels at the highest of high levels. So, he's definitely a 98th percentile of athletes. And, man, I'm kind of excited next to see what he's going to do in the world of MMA.
Now, how do you think I know that the Black Beast called him out. How do you think he would do against the Black Beast?
I think that'd be a good fight, man. Derek Lewis, you can't never rule him out. If you watch that Vulcan fight, he's losing for 4 minutes and 50 seconds of the fight and knocks the guy out in the last 10 seconds. So, man, he's always in it. But, the thing about Derek Lewis, man, he gets off to a slow start and Greg Hardy does not. And he probably hits just as hard. So, that's a matchup I'm intrigued to see.
Wow. Any football questions for this too? I know Greg Wilson has a fantasy football podcast.
That's right.
And you're a big football fan.
Huge football
You're talking
fan.
to a guy that was a 2-time national champion for Alabama.
That's fantastic. Yeah, a lot of Alabama guys go to the pros, man.
Any questions for
What
this guy?
What do you think happened to Derrick Henry? I mean, he was one of the greatest running backs you guys ever had, and then he gets to the pros and he can't seem to get going.
Man, the NFL is a different beast. The NFL, everybody's a phenomenal athlete. It's not just, he doesn't have that. I bet you if he played for the Cowboys, he'd be a phenomenal running back. But he seems to. The Titans, they don't have the greatest offensive line, and
I really believed in this.
He's having a bad career. I think the expectations are so high. Him winning the Heisman, him winning several national championships. That if he doesn't make it to the Pro Bowl, then it's a bust almost.
Now, how many guys in college football offered you steroids when you were on the team?
Man, Alabama's a pretty clean school.
Right.
So I don't think there's any of that going on.
Really? It's not like in the movies, like in the locker room, you're like, hey man, you want to get better?
Yeah, at Fresno State.
Really?
Not in Alabama.
The only thing anybody ever offered me was a little bit of weed every now and again. So that's about it.
Now, when you were on your recruiting
Sweet
trip,
home
right?
Alabama.
Because you were a great high school player, right? When you were there, when I was on a recruiting trip for wrestling at Binghamton, they offered me beer and stuff. But I know colleges. Did they offer you some girls, like, hey, you want to hook up with this girl, or a car, or Mercedes? What was it like?
Man, I didn't get any perks, man. I bet you Julio Jones probably has a different story. Alabama was my biggest offer, so, I went ahead and signed and took it back to the house because, I already knew it would be part-time when I got there. And, I signed 2 weeks before camp started. So everybody was all settled in and ready to go to getting ready for camp and stuff. So wanted a whole lot of partying. I didn't go to any games or any of that. They didn't roll out the red carpet for me is basically what I'm saying.
Now, Alabama's the #1 team in the league right now, right?
Yes.
In the country.
Mm-hmm.
Now, could they beat? People said they could beat the New York Jets. Do you think they could beat the Jets?
Maybe.
They could probably beat several teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact.
Yeah, a couple struggling teams like the Washington Redskins who have no offense, or the Bengals who lost their quarterback. I mean, some of these teams that are having to use backups, I think absolutely they could go in there.
But even though these guys were all stars in their colleges.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes coaching has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah, just watch and see how many first and second round draft picks Bama puts out.
Exactly.
They're on that team right now. That quarterback at time, Tua.
Tua, yeah.
He's phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
He's phenomenal. Their defense is, crazy, and special teams. I think it's very underrated.
Is it weird for you to see an Alabama team that can throw the ball so much and so effectively?
Man, this year has been a special year to watch, man. I think that Tua's definitely one of the better quarterbacks to come through in recent history. So, just the stuff that he's doing, he's definitely got to be in the lead for the Heisman Trophy.
David Tua?
So, he's doing all right.
Yeah, man, he's pretty impressive. It's pretty amazing.
Now, I know that, like, professional athletes, like football players and basketball players, if a guy can fight, everyone respects him. Now, with you, when you go back to Alabama and you're in the UFC, do all the guys, like, kiss your... Is it like the movie with John Travolta where the whole dance floor opens up? Like, is everyone kind of kissing your ass?
It's not like that, but, they definitely respect me and what I do, so,
Yeah.
They know what it is.
Yeah. All right, so cool. So we're fighting Elias in Toronto. That card is stacked top to bottom. Ortega versus Holloway's on that card.
Joanna
Shevchenko's on that card. And your card, you're fighting Elias Theodorou. Now he's a pretty boy. I know he's got like long hair and he's gonna try to like make you think he's just like, don't get locked in his eyes. Because I've seen many guys look at him and then question their sexuality. So don't be that guy.
I know I do.
No.
That guy's...
There won't be any eye contact, man. Yeah.
All right, that's right.
Was Alabama the team that Ali G went to and asked the guy? Remember the Ali G show when he went in the locker room and he said, and the one guy got really pissed off at him?
I don't recall.
Oh, the Ali G.
Oh, yeah, Rashad Williams. Yeah.
Who was it?
Rashad Williams.
Rashad Williams? Was he
I
on?
think he kept asking if he was gay. He kept making gay in the windows.
Yeah, was he on your team? Were you on the team when that happened?
No, he's a little bit older than me.
I forget how young these guys are, man. They make me feel old.
We are.
Well, the last time we were on the podcast, your wife got mad at me. She said that I was trying to get stuff out of you and get you to reveal that you banged a lot of girls in college. So we're not going to have that this time, okay? Because I do not want your wife.
She knows what it is. But she's definitely not the one that you want mad. You don't want mad at. Trust me.
Good. I know Brazilians are very jealous women. They're very passionate, hot.
So if it was more than 50, say nothing now. Wow.
You made over 50 girls in college? Wow, good for you, man. Good for you, Eryk.
Yeah.
Well, good luck, man. We're all going to watch your fight and kick some ass, brother.
Hey, appreciate you having me on the show, man. Anytime.
Always. Take care, Eryk. That was Eryk Anders, man. That guy's a real athlete. Holy shit.
Listen, you play for Alabama, you're a real athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's in the UFC, and he had no MMA experience before that.
But we've seen this happen before where guys because the athletics, if you don't move on to the program, and even if you do and you wash out at 1 or 2, you're 26 years old, you have this incredibly built body, you know what I mean? You want to do something physical. Some of these guys, they got a lot of aggression anyway, it makes sense.
He was working for UPS after college.
Yeah.
And he said that was like... And then his wife told him, look, he was training, and she's like, if you're going to become a fighter, you do this full time. She supported him.
Yeah.
And now he's like, at one point he was like 11-0. He was just killing everybody. But
That's
the
great.
problem is that he doesn't have, not the problem, but the issue he had was he wasn't coming from any real I think he wrestled in high school, but he didn't have that huge background the other guys had.
Right.
I'm a black belt.
I've been doing this since I was a kid, right.
I started when I was 4, but dad had me wrestling. So he had to catch up a lot. But what they don't have is the physical ability and the mental ability. You play college football at that level. You
do everything at the highest level, you see everything's attainable.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like his work ethic and ability to structure it up to victory, he knows how to do it.
And learning
he knows how to win.
Yeah, and also he has no mileage on him. A lot of these guys, when they wrestle since they were 4, they're burnt out. We see Hendricks. Hendricks was burnt out before he hit 30. This guy's like, this is a new toy for him.
Yeah.
Now, I thought he beat Machida. That fight was bullshit. And the loss he had the last time in Brazil was down at his weight class. So we'll see how he does against Elias. Elias is one of those dudes, though, who even when you beat him, it's ugly. Because he's another guy who's a great athlete, but he's a tough guy to look good against.
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys out there in the UFC who they just, even when you win, you don't look good doing it.
Yeah.
You never look good against a guy like Elias, a guy like Sam Alvey is that guy from Australia who's like 60.
Dan Kelly.
Dan Kelly.
Yeah. Somehow they just your game, it's working, but it's neutralized at the same time. So you are scoring your points, you are getting your wins, but at the same time you're like, Yeah, it just wasn't really impressive for you to beat some dude that's like 90.
But those guys are really good, though. Those
And that's
guys
the
are really
craziest
good.
part.
Yeah. Those guys are really good. Let me, hold on. Hey, Jay, what's up, brother? I'm on the podcast. It's all good.
Right now, he's accepting a phone call from the booker of the Laugh Factory. So he probably needs him to do a show, or he's cutting him from a show. It's usually one or the other. They usually don't call.
Yeah, no problem.
Unless so he's picking up a show. He's covering a show is what it sounds like right now. So, good for him.
Okay.
That's good.
Whatever.
Jay Davis, the person he's speaking to, is actually in
Okay, was he
my
upset
fantasy
for
football
that?
league. Tell him you're with me, and then I'm going to crush him this week. Although he's probably actually going to beat me. He has a much better team.
Yeah.
But he lost so many games at the beginning of the season. I don't know if he's going to make it into the playoffs. He has to beat me this week to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah,
the guy he's talking to right now.
It's all good. All right.
So, but I'm number 1 in our league. Somehow. He scored the most points in our league this
It's
last
all good.
weekend.
No dead air on this podcast.
So me and Jay Davis,
thanks,
we're going toe-to-toe this weekend. And I'm going to need a big game. And it comes down to who I choose as quarterback. So, but so that's I was filling in, talking about the guy you were talking to.
Oh, nice. All right, so we're calling Rashad Evans. You haven't talked to Rashad? How are you doing, man? How are you? So my wife and the baby just walked in. Maybe I had to talk to her today.
Uh-oh, you're in charge, Daddy.
All right.
Daddy's in charge. Mommy's on break.
She got the Tupac headband.
Look at you, you pretty baby. Look at her smile. Got a little precious baby. Say, look at me.
Okay.
You see my shirt? That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
I got a Tupac shirt for you. I can't find it.
Yeah,
Just like Tupac. It's missing.
I was gonna say,
All right, hold
I'm a poo-poo princess.
on. So, all right. We'll take this part out, Joe.
Sure.
By the way, thanks for all your help. I know. By the way, so the reason there was like some people were mad about like the podcast being late because Joe was in the desert walking to Vegas, and he still managed to get him out.
Dude, I had to like run to like any Starbucks or hotel.
Right, that had some
any free Wi-Fi. But
yeah.
the problem is when you're on free Wi-Fi, it's so slow.
Sure, the upload speed
It's
especially is the worst.
What I'm
It's
saying
hours,
is, I can't thank you enough.
Oh,
Man.
dude, no problem.
And you're like, well, why don't you get one of your listeners? I'm like, Joe, I can't replace you, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna have like a major career. You're making movies and still doing this podcast.
Yeah. Be the next Harvey Weinstein.
Well, it's not.
You're just saying everything wrong today.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me, I don't know if you know
What's that?
this new MMA toasted, you're not offending people
Oh, I was
anymore?
fucking around.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought somebody got mad.
Somebody did get mad at me,
Dude,
somebody
really?
got mad at me, and I explained to them like they were mad at some of the Chuck Tito things, and I was explaining like, dude, it was like I was just making jokes about them being old.
De La Hoya produced a joke.
And
but
I
can't
never make fun of anyone when they lose. You know, unless you lose the way Bob Sapp was losing, where he was just like sort of tapping, like, or it's your toe stuck in a thing where it's kind of like comical. But like, I'll never make fun of people when they get knocked out and everybody got hurt.
No, and that's what I was like. Who's
I don't like
offended?
to, but someone got upset because a lot of people. I hate to say it, a lot of people were they hold Chuck in such high regard.
I mean, I do, but I'm realistic. I knew what was about to happen.
But they got really upset. Maybe it reminds them of their own mortality or something. I don't know what it is, but people got really
People
upset
just need something to bitch
about Chuck Liddell.
Yeah. Everybody's fine with the jokes until it's something they care about.
Well, that's,
And then they're like, oh, why would you? Oh. And it's like, listen, you can't laugh at the other jokes and be mad when it's your turn. Everybody takes a turn.
And number one. And number two, it's like, if a fighter gets upset at making jokes about him, then I'll usually stop. Almost 9 times I'll stop. But
you have more people tweeting you make fun of me than telling you to stop.
I go, anybody wants to be roasted, please let me know. And like 25 fighters over the weekend were like, make fun of me. And a lot of them I don't even know, so I have to go research.
Right. You're like, become somebody.
Yeah, no, now they gave me a job. But these guys were like, some of these guys were like 1-0, and like, I was just making jokes on their like nickname. Like one guy's nickname was Lights Out, like because he can't pay the electric bill. Like I was just trying to make nickname jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
The best one I had was like a guy that was on Joe Henley. He beat Keith Berry.
Leonidas.
He won after it was the Chuck Tito fight.
Oh,
another
he was
fight,
on the postland?
and then another fight. I go, more people witnessed Tupac shooting than your fight.
That's a good joke.
They were all laughing. Everyone
And a
was
lot
laughing.
of people saw it shooting.
A lot of people. Yeah, it was just so crazy how they can't find the.
And yeah, nobody says shit. Nobody wants to say anything.
That's crazy. So try to call Rashad.
I blame Shug.
Probably.
Well, yeah. You don't want him mad at you.
You ever think that like maybe some guys out there on a separate notice, separate thing, like made a deal with the devil? Like, okay, I'm gonna give you like 30 great years,
Yeah.
but then when it rains, it pours. Because you look at some of these guys' lives, like Suge Knight, that guy Joe Francis from Girls Gone Wild.
Oh my God, dude.
But didn't he
Top
get
of
his
the
in the
world.
end?
What?
Didn't he get his in the end? Like, literally in the end?
Yeah, he had, well, somebody's parent, like,
Yeah.
hired a guy to, like, put a dildo in his own ass,
Nice.
record it, and tried to extort him for the money. And then that guy went to jail, so at a certain point. But, yeah, you ever see that? Like, the celebrity just can't do nothing wrong, and then all of a sudden the time runs out, and it's like the devil comes and says, okay, you know, I hope you enjoyed your 40 great years, because, like, Suge Knight's now blind, he, like, can't walk, he got, like, knocked out by, like, a 125-pound dude, like...
I think it's called karma.
Like Bill Cosby, dude. Look
Oh.
at that. It's a perfect example.
Yeah. Yeah. I was never a Cosby fan. I like the Cosby Show.
You know what
I
it's
was never a
about?
Cosby
It's all
fan.
about that one stupid line from, I think it was Batman Returns, or the second of the good Batman movies, the late ones.
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight,
And
where,
I'd probably tell you what the line is.
where the guy goes, listen, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the enemy.
Yep.
Villain.
Or the villain become the villain.
All
Right,
right,
sorry.
Greg.
Sorry, you do it. You do it.
I don't know how to say it.
Oh, okay.
I feel bad.
But that's what the line is. You either, you know what I mean? And that is completely true. Because nobody stays on an upward trajectory. Whatever rises must fall.
Yeah.
What goes up must
Really?
come
I
down.
know. I feel like
Yes.
some people do.
Because they manage to even out and not just get, but I mean, it's just, you either, you know, when you're that big a hero, eventually you will become the villain.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy.
Or you disappear.
Yeah,
one
but
or the
also,
other.
and on the same token, people watch you through your eyes going, I can't wait until he just takes a
And that's the other thing. As much as we love to build people up, there's the only thing we love more than a hero is tearing them down.
Or watching them
It's
fall.
our favorite fucking thing. The second anyone does everything, we start looking for anything to pull it all apart. Like, fuck you, why do you get lucky? And then when they finally come down, then the only thing we love more than that is to see them come back again.
That's why people love watching Conor McGregor fights, because they want to see him lose. He's like on this high horse.
Yeah,
he's
but
making
now it's
$1
getting
million.
kind of weird with Conor, where it's to the
Wow.
point where it's almost like I hope he doesn't become like a parody of himself. But McGregor losing to Mayweather and then Khabib, I like if Donald Cerrone fights him. That might be the best thing for McGregor because I think McGregor can win that fight.
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for Cerrone all day long, but that's a winnable fight for McGregor
Yeah.
because he's a stand-up guy. You know,
Especially if it's down at
Cerrone's
55.
Cerrone's been rocked before, and I don't know. I hope Cerrone gets that payday. He damn deserves it.
Right.
And if it goes to the ground, I got Cerrone all day long. But Cerrone might just stand in the pocket and trade shots with him, in which case that might be good for Conor.
Cerrone's also a very slow starter.
Yeah.
When Conor rushes him, he can finish him in 30
Which,
seconds.
and then as soon as that happens, everyone's going to be like, he's back, he's the best ever. And all the people who jumped off the Conor train are going to come right back on it. And
I don't know if beating Cerrone means you're, you know, I mean...
look at
Ngannou
Ngannou.
isn't
Look at
great.
Ngannou this weekend. Everyone's now back on the Ngannou train. Everyone was like, this is the greatest fucking heavyweight of all time. He broke the heavy bag record when he punched the thing, and then he loses to Stipe. They all left.
Right.
And then he lost to Black Beast. It was like me and two other guys were part of the. And then he knocks out what's his name, and everyone's like, he's the hardest hitter in the. I want to see Stipe.
I'm not
Ngannou
back on
too.
his bandwagon.
A lot of people are though.
No.
I give him the benefit of the doubt, but it was just like, you know...
I want to
he
see
does
him
well,
fight
but
Curtis Blades again. I want Curtis Blades to get a second shot again.
And the third
It
shot.
would be a third
Or a
shot.
third shot, that's right.
I don't know, man. I think Curtis plays. That might be his.
That might be it, though.
Everybody
yeah.
has
This could be
their.
his kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one guy they just can't get over.
Look at Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes, I would say, is one of the top 10 fighters of all time.
Yeah.
He has 3 losses against Dennis Hallman, right? Dennis Hallman?
I think it was Dennis Hall.
3? I mean, 3 or 4. He just couldn't beat
Dennis
Hallman. And Dennis Hallman's a hell of a fighter, but he's not on any top 20 list.
Yeah.
Maybe top 20 worst outfits with his fucking ball sack.
Top 2.
You know, top 2 worst outfits.
Yeah.
Remember he came
With
into
the
the
Speedo on, the blue Speedo, and his nut came out middle of the fight.
Oh,
And then-
yeah.
and then-
he lost a bet or something.
And then Jacob Volkman submitted him, and then Dana gave him a bonus for getting him off his like TV screen. You gotta admit, that's pretty funny. I mean,
Yeah,
how often is a football player gonna give a guy a bonus for getting his ball sack off the TV screen? But we're trying to call Rashad Evans. He's not picking up the phone. Maybe he's still in shock from announcing that Tito Chuck fight.
He's still trying to close out the show because Chuck's not done shadow boxing.
But what's crazy about that fight is afterwards.
That was so sad.
Afterwards, I think Frank Mir said
the whole thing.
Frank Mir said he wants to see him again in the cage. It shouldn't be over.
Yeah, he should be, but he should be holding a microphone instead.
Yeah.
Interviewing people. Don't fight anymore. I even said Rashad has beat both those guys. I really want to know what he thought about it off the record, not promoting the event after the fact.
I don't know if he's gonna want to.
Imagine Chuck Liddell as a referee.
Yeah,
Chris
Chuck Liddell.
Lehman was the referee the other night.
Lehman did a pretty good job.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Rashad,
Hey, what's going on?
I thought it was.
how are you? Is this your voicemail or you?
I thought it was his voicemail.
What? Hold on. I hear like an echo.
Okay, you can hear me now? This is me, Adam Hunter. We got Rashad Evans.
Hey, it's my friend Adam. What's going on?
What's going on? So, by the way, Rashad, congrats on your successful commentating gig. First with
It was successful. I didn't know it was successful. I didn't even read the reviews, man. I just kind of did it and just let it go.
Well,
man.
I mean, no matter how bad you did, which you did great, it wouldn't have mattered because of that main event. That was, I mean, you could have masturbated in the booth and people have been talking about that main event.
Oh my God.
What are your thoughts about Chuck Tito? Because you said this is the best Chuck has looked in a long time. Like he did have a six-pack. So is that what you're talking about?
Exactly. At that point when I said that, I didn't see him fight yet, like nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So, just from the appearance, looking at him, I never seen him look that well. Have you ever seen him with a six pack?
No.
Yeah. So looking at him, you know what I'm saying? He looked like he was in the best shape I've ever seen him in.
Okay, he looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when did you know he was in trouble?
Oh man, the minute when he threw his first punch, I was like, oh man, it didn't look good because normally Chuck's whole expertise was the fact that he'd be able to go back and land the accurate punches, even backpedaling, and that's why he was so deadly because like he had two different modes. Like he could hunt you down and find a precision shot. But if he got in trouble, or if you thought that you can, outbox him, he'll box backwards and hit you with just precision, and with some heat with it too. Mm-hmm. So that when he didn't have that, I was like, oh man, this is father time, took its toll.
Yeah. No, it was one of those things. I kind of felt bad. I really felt bad for Chuck in there, but then I'm like, well, look, he signed up for it. You can't. It wasn't like someone dragged him in there.
But Here's what I think, man. I think we're all. It's easy to look at it and be like, oh man, we see the results, and he got knocked out and didn't look so well. But here's another way of looking at it. This dude got to feel alive for how long did he build up for the fight and that whole thing? Like being able to have that and compete at the highest level just one more time.
Yeah,
it's worth it, man. It's worth it. Even if he didn't get the results that he wanted to, I guarantee right now is the best shape that Chuck is probably going to be in for the rest of his life. You know what I'm saying? Because even if he does maintain this shape, he's still not going to be in fighting shape because he's probably not going to fight anymore.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, we can look at it a couple of different ways, but...
But do you think the guys that he trained with, should have told him, hey, man, maybe this isn't a good idea? I mean, because, I don't know. I never sparred before on that level. I mean, the sparring I do is at Curves. Okay, so I've never actually had that type of person. But if I'm in there with Chuck and I'm tagging him, I'm seeing how he's throwing, should someone say to him, hey, listen, maybe this isn't a good idea. We could pull out, just say that you injured your back or pull out gracefully, maybe this isn't the best thing to do.
Yeah. But think about how hard that conversation is to say. Think about how awkward that is. You know what I'm saying? Like how awkward that is. If you doubt anybody in your dreams, somebody tells you that you're not going to treat one of your dreams
You know what I'm saying?
I hear it every day.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to hear, right? It's hard.
Of course.
That's a hard thing to hear. Like, if somebody tell you you're not going to achieve your dream, that's hard to hear. And who wants to have that conversation if you're just like a gym partner? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a conversation for like his wife or somebody like that. You know what I'm saying?
But like,
hey,
well, someone says to me, hey, Adam, you're never going to become this amazing comedian, yada, yada. I can say, no, fuck that. I go out every night, I do it, blah, blah, blah. But it's sort of like there's ways I can do it. I can get on this special or that TV show. Well, you've seen it happen. But when it's one-on-one, and it's right in front of you, and you're like, hey, man, your punches are going, I don't know, 1 mile an hour, and every time I touch you, you're getting rocked. Dude, this is not, Tito's not, this is not the same Tito, right? I mean, isn't there... But I mean, kind of like with the CM Punk thing.
Here's the thing about it is it goes back to that old saying, the same things that make you, things that make you laugh and make you cry. And by that, I mean, he was so good at just, being able to, deal with all of that before, and he's always made his way through. And how do you tell somebody that hey, you know what, you trained this hard, and you feel like you're the best that you can, you're delusional. But fighting in itself is a crazy thing to do. Like when you're in the locker room and you got to make that walk, because a lot of people only see it as like, we're in a cage and we're fighting, but making that walk, that is the fight right there. That's the whole fight. Like when you're in the octagon, the training takes over and the reflex is taking over, but it's just getting yourself to the point of being able to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. That's the fight right there. So it's a hard conversation to have, man. And he's old, you know what I'm saying? And he's been in a lot of wars, and it's a hard conversation to be like, dude. Because here's why my heart goes out to him. Is he maybe he didn't go out the way he wanted to, and by that, like, not even just a win, but just being able to say that I want to retire. I think that's what made him just push even more, because he didn't feel like the decision to retire was totally on him in the first place.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Now you've been retired for a couple months now. Are you getting that itch?
Hell no. I mean, look, I enjoy a fight like the next man, and I enjoy, what the fight was. But listen, I'm real, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have what I used to have in order to compete at that level. You see what I'm saying? Because it's an idea that allows you to compete at the highest level. It's an idea. You get that? So if you, like I've seen the end to that idea. So in order for me to go back and compete, I would have to recreate another idea. But then I know that I'm recreating it, so then it wouldn't mean anything to me. So I couldn't compete because my heart wouldn't be in it.
But how did you do, like...
Does that make sense?
Sort of. I think I have an idea of what you're saying. But now, how did you do, like a guy like Usman, right, who's fighting this week against Rafael Dos Anjos? He's a guy that you train with, Kamaru Usman. How do you do against him in sparring, in training?
Now or before, like when I used to compete. Now, this dude's a monster. I have to sneak attack him right now to do anything. So this boy's he's getting to be that master and level. See, there's different types of athletes. Like once you get to the level of mastery, and by that I mean like when you feel like you've mastered your style. Then you're hard to beat, and he's mastered his style. But before he mastered his style, it was, when I was in my younger days, before the knee surgery, I used to do some work to the little man, but now I got a sneak attack on, man. I got to jump from behind and
little man, that guy's a
hey, man,
great
stop
guy.
playing.
Now, how do you?
Man, he's tough.
So you think he's gonna beat Dos Anjos this week?
I pray. I hope he does. I hope he does just for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I love Dos Anjos, and I think he's a great fighter. And the fact that he's been able to move back into the conversation again after being a champion, that goes and shows, so much for his internal fortitude, his will, and for that I respect all day. But I want my guy to get the nod for sure. I do.
Now, who do you think wins, Woodley or Covington?
Oh man, that's tough because it's one of those battles that it's emotional. It's an emotional battle, and there's a lot that can be unpacked there. But if I'm just judging it from the last performances, I would say Woodley because they both have the ability to wrestle, but T. Wood has one thing that Colby Covington doesn't. He has just that power, that freakish power that we've seen displayed when he knocked out Robbie Lawler, and we've seen sporadically in different times, like when he knocked out Wonder Boy and things like that. So he has that power. I don't see Colby Covington having that power, even though he does grind like a mug and he's tough as hell. I just don't see him having that power to finish T. Wood.
What about Ben Askren, Robbie Lawler?
Man, you making me go to work, man. I thought it was just a conversation.
I'm actually curious to hear your opinions on this.
Okay.
I'm actually curious to hear your opinions.
Okay, so what was the question again?
Ben Askren and Robbie Lawler.
Oh man, I would say Robbie, and not only because of the fact that he trains at my gym and whatnot, but he has a mindset that's out of control. Like I remember the first time I started, we were just going at it, and this dude just does not stop. He doesn't talk. He doesn't care. Like once you engage in that whole okay, we about to throw down. He just goes in autopilot, and he's comfortable and he loves it there. That's where he hopes the fight to go. So I think that Ben Askren, when it comes to his grappling and his ability to wear a guy down and to take punishment to get there, I think that's pretty dope. But the only problem is the fact that you can't take too many punches from Robbie Lawler and still have a wherewithal to impose your game, because he's because not only can Robbie punch, but he has power, and he's savvy too. He knows he has a lot of intelligence when it comes to fighting.
But who are you guys bringing in to kind of emulate Ben Askren?
You know what, man? I've been sitting here lying if I told you, man. I ain't been to the gym in so long.
All right, okay, got it. Now, how's it? Yeah.
No, I've been to the gym. Not for real. I've been to the gym probably about a couple weeks ago, but Robbie Lawler had already trained by the time that I got there. So he's got Tommy, and Tommy is a genius. You know what I'm saying? Tommy is a genius, and he understands how to work with Robbie, because you have to understand that Robbie, like the whole conventional thinking is, okay, we got to bring in this guy to do this and do that and do this. But at the end of the day, no one's going to do what Ben Askren can do. Ben is a freak in himself, and it's a mistake sometimes when people, they try to bring in someone like that person, because at the end of the day, that person isn't that person. And then when you get into the fight, you have to make an adjustment anyway.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I think Conley does a really good approach whenever he's preparing for his fighters, because he prepares the mind, and then when he prepares the mind, the body will follow, and that's their formula. That's how they've been able to be so successful working together.
Now, have you talked to Rumble at all lately?
No, I haven't. You know, I've seen him every once in a while. He'll pop up every once in a while, but I haven't seen him. The boy big as a house, man. I wish he had just covered this fight at least one more time.
He says coming back at heavyweight. He'll have to cut to make
his body and just raw power. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude is a specimen.
Do you think if you hadn't trained with Rumble, you'd still be fighting? Like he took off 10 years, those sparring sessions?
Listen again. Nah, not physically speaking. I could fight, but just the will to fight, it went away.
And how?
The thing about it is, there's things that I don't really speak about because those things that are not people. Then they're not for everybody to hear. You know what I'm saying? But what made me stop fighting is just I didn't have the will to do it anymore.
Right.
And it happened, but at least I kept it real myself to be like, hey, you know what? Let me figure out some other way to survive and support my family because the will to fighting it left me as fast as it came, and I can't be mad at it because it's the reason why I'm even able to do this interview right now. It's the reason why you care to hear what I have to say.
Well, I think a prime Rashad Evans beats anybody in the world. I think the Rashad Evans that beat Phil Davis that night, that knocked out Chuck Liddell, I don't think there's a guy out there that can take him.
Hey,
it's the truth.
You know what? For all the crazy things you say sometimes, this is the reason why you my boy. This is the reason why I fuck with you.
It's the truth, man. It's the truth. It's 100%. I'm 1,000%. I honestly believe that. I honestly, that's 100% true.
I know you do.
Any questions for Rashad Evans?
I appreciate you saying that, man. I really do.
It's true. Even though you think I never had a black person sleep in my house when I was a kid, which I
no, you know why? You already know why I even said that. You know why I said that because every single time we hang out, you always gotta say something about me being black. And I'm like, damn, man, I don't know for how long. And you always gotta say
no, because you're always late.
Like,
you're always late, so that's why I say that.
I know. Well, yeah. All right, okay. I do things that fulfill a stereotype, but. I give you that.
It's all good. It's all good.
I can't be stereotype-ish sometimes, but can we all?
Of course you can. Of course you can, man. The stereotypes for a reason, because a lot of people of certain types do that, and that's why you say that. And otherwise, they wouldn't be. But you show up. You don't always show up like in the Sam Alvey fight, but you do show up eventually. No.
Oh shit!
I'm kidding.
That hurt.
A prime Rashad never would lose to a ginger.
That's the win up.
It's all good. I thought that was a very close fight. You could have won that fight. And the other guy too. That 90-year-old guy from Australia that you fought too. What was that guy? The guy that came on the ring with crutches. What's his name?
What was that?
Dan Kelly.
Dan.
Yeah. You don't want to beat up old grandpas. I get it. I mean, you're a respectful guy. You don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about those fights. Those fights didn't happen.
But those didn't happen.
Any fight that I lost.
But you beat Chael Sonnen. You beat Forrest Griffin. You beat Chael Sonnen. You beat Michael Bisping.
I'm talking about only the fights that I won.
Tito Ortiz, Phil Davis.
That's all good, man. I enjoy talking about it all because at the end of the day, my losses, they help, sculpt me just like my wins did. And I can't. And I can't be ashamed of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like there's nothing for me to compete for. Is because I accepted what already is. I accepted the fact that, I competed at the highest level and I competed with men, you know what I'm saying, that are just unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? I think that, I competed against some of the best athletes to ever do it.
Fucking Rampage.
And to me, that is, that's a thing,
Of course. No, you're a legend, Hall of Famer, legend. But I do got to ask you, last time we talked about, you were in Atlanta hanging out at some gay park, right?
Yeah.
There were a lot of gay guys were popping out of the bushes. Yeah, what's it
Piedmont
called?
Park.
Have you heard about that? Piedmont Park?
No, I have not heard about
Piedmont
Piedmont
Park.
Park.
It's a park that a lot of gay men go to.
Okay.
And Rashad didn't know this. He
Yeah.
thought it was a regular park, and all of a sudden, all these huge black gay thugs started hitting on him. And
Nice.
They,
I got punked.
he got punked. They grabbed. Now, have you been back to that park?
Heck no, man. I got punked, man. I was like, yo, you know what? Because
Yeah.
you know what? That's the thing about it. Like, I can admit when I can take an L. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people can't admit when they take an L. And that's what ends up costing them a lot more than that L would have just took them if they just said, you know what?
But,
He got me this. They got me this time. You know what I'm saying?
It happens.
How do I win? How do I win that exchange?
You don't.
How do I win that exchange?
You don't win. You win
You
by
know what I'm
this.
saying? Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
all
just
good.
like, you
But
know,
what was that? But what was the movie you were in? That was you in that movie, right? What was the movie you were in? The movie.
Boss level. Boss level.
What was
Boss
the,
level. But you know the tricky part was
You hear
because
that?
I was
What's
training
the
for
level?
a fight,
God's
so
level.
it enticed my ego just a little bit because you know when you're training for a fight, you gotta feed the ego. You gotta feed it, you know, because you gotta start believing in yourself like crazy, you know. So you're kind of feeding that ego and anything, you know. So by the time you get to the fight, you feel like you're a god, you know, just because you keep feeding that ego. So I was in that place, and then they said what they said. You know, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna take this L right now, man.
It happens.
Just
So
like
that
keep
movie-
my mouth shut and just go and meditate, man.
So Boss Level, which he's in with Frank Grillo, Mel Gibson, Annabelle Wayes, Rob Gronkowski's in it, Dr. Ken, Naomi Watts. This is some
Jesus.
Will Sasso, Selena Lowe, Michelle Yao, and Rashad Evans and Rampage Jackson. It's coming out 2019.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That's a good. That's a fucking.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. You know, Joe Carnahan, he's a genius. The way that he shoots the movie is so dope. You know, and working for somebody, you know, working on set with somebody like him, dude. He's just amazing because he knows how to bring out each of the talents in which you're strong at, and you know, he's not one of those directors who, you know, make you feel uncomfortable or kind of like expose you where you're weak at. You know, he knows that you all got weaknesses, but he tries to bring out where you're good at. You know, and you know, I really enjoyed working on the set with him, man.
Good for you, man. I like it. Well, listen, Rashad, have a great rest of the week. You are the best.
Hey, but you forgot the one thing that I thought you were going to say something about.
What's that?
The whole John Jones, man. John Jones snapped on me, man. John Jones snapped on me, man.
He snapped on you?
On Twitter, yeah, he did, man. I guess like he heard some comment about, I don't know, because I guess he interpreted it as like I said that he was cheating or something. He cheated.
Well, he was cheating.
Well, I mean, look. At the end of the day, look, what he did or didn't do, that's not. I'm not here to convict or judge anybody. But if somebody asks me about the fight, I have to bring in all the elements that embody the fight. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he went through what he went through, that's part of his story now. You know what I'm saying? So just because he's gotten past it, he can't expect people to not to forget that's part of his story. If anything, he should champion it and say, you know what? I did all of that, and guess what? I found a way to work past that and defeat myself. Because no one can beat this man. But the only person that can beat John Jones has been beating his ass for the longest time, and that's himself.
Of course. Yeah. So he's
But to say something to me, to analyze him, that's the easy thing to do. Oh, Rashad, da. Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I hurt your feelings a little bit. I get it. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still think he's one of the best to ever do it, if not the best to ever do it. He's pretty dope. You have to admit the dude's fucking dope.
When it comes to fighting, he's amazing. When it comes to fighting, he's amazing.
Yeah.
When it comes to life choices and character, You know, I mean, the leaving the scene of an accident after hitting a pregnant woman, that kind of did it. That kind of lost me as a fan.
But but see, that's the thing. But that's the thing, though. That's the thing that we it's easy to look at somebody and they fall down and be like, you're a piece of shit person because of that. That's easy to do. But at the end of the day, like, everybody wants to be forgiven. Everybody, no matter what, everybody wants to be forgiven. That's the main human urge is just the feeling of forgiveness. So why do we make it so hard to forgive other people?
You're right.
You know
well,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
and not to say you don't forgive.
But he never. But did he ever even apologize for that though?
He fucked up.
But he never even apologized. But he never even apologized for that, did he?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't get that far into the story like that, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And people deserve second chances. You're right. And, you know, my experience with John Jones was fine. He was very nice when I met him. This is before he was a champion, before the Bonner fight. But, you know, he did test positive twice for steroids. According to Colby Covington, he took steroids in college. Believe it if you're not, they were roommates. And, you know, I've heard from a lot of people that he's not a very nice person. Now, I don't know. I mean, other people think I don't know. You know him better than I do. If you say he's a good guy, he's a good guy.
I will say this. I'll say this. John made some poor choices, and John is not done as nice as black people. I'll admit that, but looking in this man's eyes and talking to this man, having a relationship with the man, I know inside, you know, no matter how the choices that he makes at the end of the day, I know he's a good person.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I know he's a good person.
It's
just that, you know, people, he just have to defeat himself, and that's the thing about it, like defeating yourself. Everything you said right now, those are things of the ego. And remember what I said to you earlier in the conversation about what it is to be a fighter. Sometimes you have to see the ego. That's why he's been the best, because he's been telling himself that he's a god. So when he acts away and just does what he wants to do, and his ego, you know, he doesn't understand the fact that it's one way to act like that when you're for fighting, because that's why we do it, just to have that relief. But in life, we have to be like, okay, now I have to tame the beast.
Yeah.
Right now he's in straight savage mode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's in straight savage mode.
Look,
you got to tame it.
If you say he's a good guy, he's a good guy, because I know that you're a good judge of character, and you're my friend. You're always my friend, and you're my friend. If I was homeless, you'd be nice to me, and if I was the fucking champ of the world, you'd be nice to me. You're a good person, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, and to be honest, you know, there's a deep part of a lot of fighters that just is a savage, and that's why fighting feels so good, is because you just allow the savage just to be. You allow it just to be, and just be uncaged. But some fighters can, after that 15 to 25 minutes when their fight's over, they can bottle it up and be like, all right, cool. Now I'll go on about my life and I'll play with that, you know, another time. But some people just cannot turn it off because success does that. Success brings it. It's another thing. It's a drug, you know. There's a lot to making this cocktail, this John Jones cocktail, you know. So that's why I have sympathy for him.
Now I heard you got offered $500,000 to do bare knuckle boxing. You turned it down. Is that true?
I don't know. I hear a lot of things too, man. But if they try to, I'm not trying to do no bare knuckle boxing, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know, I can't condemn it. You know what I'm saying? If people do what they do, whatever the case may be. For God's sake, you know, I thought, you know what I'm saying, people look down on what I do. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to look down on another sport? I'm not that guy. But it goes back to what I was saying before. I've just lost the desire to fight.
Right.
Or to compete in that nature.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying? I just lost that desire.
Now I was wondering if that was true, if you were offered the money. So I was like, That's what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I heard it. I heard the same thing too, man.
Was that?
They heard the same thing when they made him the offer.
Yeah, you heard that you were offered this money. Well, listen, Rashad Evans, you are. Fuck what John Jones says. You're always in my top 10. You're in my top 3.
My bad.
So,
My bad. Because you know what? Before that, you used to always put John Jones ahead of me. But that's what.
no, dude, he's not in my top 10.
That's how you felt at the time.
No,
so
he's in my.
I didn't bust your balls.
No. You're my number 1.
I appreciate you coming around.
I came around, bro. I came around.
You beat all my heroes. I came around too.
And you can sleep over my place anytime. You're the first black person to ever sleep over my place. And
I appreciate it.
I'm kidding. I spoke to Jamoki about that, by the way. And Jamoki was going to come on the podcast. I had to.
You should have had Jamoki come, man. Listen. Honestly, you got to do some black people shit. Like, listen, I was at Playhouse the other day. A lot of black people. Hey, that right there will give you at least a year's worth of black people.
He said he went to a show called Black People Shit, where he takes me to do black people shit.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
I think you should have.
First thing I gotta do is leave my daughter.
Yeah.
So anyway, no, come on, no, I'm just, come on. It was a joke.
There you go.
It was a joke. You're a great father. Anyway, so Rashad,
oh my God.
Thank you for being on the show. We'll talk to you again soon, brother.
Hey, take care, bro.
Take care. All right.
Rashad, that was one of the best to ever do it.
Should I take that joke out?
No way.
No, it's too late. That was one of the best parts of the whole thing.
People know I was kidding, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna get fucking flagged.
Your Instagram.
Can't fucking turn to the left or turn to the right.
All right, so we gotta call Ellenberger. You guys have to leave.
I have to go. I just wanted to tell you quick dates coming up.
Please do.
December 12th through the 16th, I'll be in the Stratosphere doing the LA Comedy Club, which you just came back from. Is that right?
I'm going there December on 24th to the 30th.
There you go. So I'll be there earlier in the month. And then the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, I will be in El Paso, Texas at the El Paso Comic Strip. And then the 28th, I'll be back in Vegas for the Dirty at 12:30. And then New Year's Eve, I'll be at the Admiralty Theater just outside of Seattle, Washington.
Nice. And don't you have a football podcast?
Yeah, so my football podcast, Fantasy Football Harsh Reality, available on SoundCloud. Check it out. Or you can follow me on Instagram.
Are there any Greg Wilson t-shirts I can buy?
Nope.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Greg.
Well, thank you, my man. Enjoy your final phone call.
Take some speed on the way out. You gonna leave
Thank you, my man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, cool.
Can I take some speed too?
Yes. Are you back smoking?
For
Yeah,
a couple weeks.
Absolutely, take some. Yes.
I take some speed weed too.
Yeah, are you smoking too?
Yeah.
Of course, guys.
He's been on the road for a month with a
There you go.
blind
You guys
guy.
can have my share. It's all good.
All right. So Jake Ellenberger will be on the podcast next week because today he didn't pick up. So thank you to Rashad Evans. Thank you to Eryk Anders for being on the show, as well as my crew. You can see me this Friday night. I'm in Las Vegas at the House of Blues at 9:30, and then at the South Point Casino at 12:30. Then I'll be at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood at 11:45, and then December 25th to the 30th at the Stratosphere Hotel. And maybe go to the guest list, LA Comedy Club, December 25th to the 30th. Also, if you shop on Amazon, go to AdamHunter.com first, AdamHunter.com, and then get whatever you need. Thank you guys so much, and take care.